Well, and here we are.
Extensive use of that brawler in scrims. But the Ruffs
And
turns
well,
up yet
I
again.
don't hear
Such an important
anything.
centerpiece, and also a brawler that doesn't telegraph your comp intention whatsoever.
Well, it's funny you mentioned it. I was literally about to say, the place where the iconic Frank Berry came ripped out and did such a good job. Lukey on that brawler is absolutely ridiculous, and this comp with this team is a force to be reckoned with. So we'll see if that's the kind of route they do tend to lean. But the Crow was picked up by Crazy Raccoon on the other side as well to play a bit more of that range along the way.
Okay.
So if the map gets broken up, and I'm sure it will by the Ruffs, the Crow should have a pretty decent time.
Now, Juju's banned here. We've often seen Finks combined with that. You go Larry and Laurie as a thrower option. That's really, it's less common to see on this map, but actually has a really high win rate on open business when it's been picked up. It's going to be the Frank, though, that's taken instead. So you've got this wall break, and you've got this inherent sustain, plus speed boosts for the Frank being supplied by the Jaeyong. So really well-rounded composition for Humble, but doesn't necessarily have these like huge moments of burst damage here. They're really going to be sticking to their fundamentals with this setup.
Yeah, well, clearly things have pivoted, as I mentioned just before, as the Berry Frank that I was expecting. A different healer, support brawler is going to be rolling on in then with that, and the Jaeyong Lumi rounds out the Crazy Raccoon roster. I like that. The Hypercharge can cover so much ground, lock people in place, and deal some nice damage. So Crazy Raccoon, solid composition. If they can get this map broken up, Humble going to be trying their hardest to not feed that Ruffs.
Yeah, for Humble, it's very much about staying alive for as long as possible, just accruing that capture percentage. Once the Finks can put a super field down, you can dodge away from a lot of those projectiles. I do think the Frank has to be careful of Lumi Gadget. That Grim and Frostbitten is a real problem for those slower brawlers, or the ones who want to close the gap. This game, folks, is anyone's. It comes down to a fifth set decider between your world champions Humble in a world championship rematch. Your 2024 Grand Finals looks a lot more interesting here in 2025.
Yeah, a little bit of Frostbite on the right-hand side there, and Semantic slipping and sliding, now caught in a bit of a tough situation, but Humble have control of the middle, and Boss doing a good job of keeping not feeding him. There's the Weekend Warrior dealing some good damage as well, and back to heals we go as Lukey is going to require them.
Pretty easy to underestimate the burst damage that Jaeyong has access to with that Weekend Warrior gadget. The activation causes an AoE field of damage, and then your shot is empowered. Definitely something that's pretty scary. The problem for Crazy Raccoon is
this is fine.
Boss, oh, that is dirty stuff. Another fantastic game.
Or is it? Oh. No. That's not what I want to do.
He and Tensai are basically playing their own side game of Brawl Stars.
And Semantic's not going to mind that at all. He's in a position where he's just chilling in the right-hand side, and his teammates are doing well. So why change it? And I'm surprised Tensai hasn't moved out the way. Tried to get Milkray over there. You know, deal some damage, get your super, we'll break the map. Because nothing's changing at the moment, and Boss is still holding his own on the left. Might need some heals here for Lukey as well, but he's surviving and living on.
Semantic being able to tie up the Lumi is massive here. Tensai would much rather be throwing these Morning Stars at the point of
Nah, that's fine.
what Frank can do.
Maybe we'll make this a bit smaller.
But Boss has just been dipping a toe onto the point here and there, being really hard to shit. Lukey, much the same. Eventually the Jaeyong goes down.
Yeah, this is fine, I think.
Take their time, and Semantic has finally built a super.
I mean, how many supers is he going to throw on Semantic, and he still stood there?
But this is hella close.
But he's there, he's being annoying, and Boss back on the zone now, has a hypercharge as well. Trying to move up, here's the hypercharge, and this might be the point where they lunge in, but just waiting, keeping control, and why not? Because Crazy Raccoon are doing nothing about it.
This is how Hot Zone is supposed to be played. Humble are issuing a challenge to Crazy Raccoon. Come and challenge us, force us off the point, take some risks in order to get back into the game. Boss here has to deal with the gadget now. Milkrayo has that hypercharge ready to go.
Semantic is not doing anything. Yeah. To be honest, I think that's going to go to CR.
Semantic needs a hyper super, but might not have a chance to build before the round is done. He'll open up the map instead, and now Humble have one last chance to take control. But Lukey's flattened in.
No.
Crazy Raccoon.
Bro, what? What?
Run over the top of Humble.
I mean,
what?
All Humble. Eventually Semantic made the move, and everything crumbled from there. Frank gets decimated, he gets supers, he gets power-ups, his teammates stay alive, and they play that long game so perfectly well. Crazy Raccoon just won.
What the heck?
The world champs.
Huh?
Back we go, folks. Jaeyong and Finks here in the mid. This time Semantic is opting to play a different side of the map.
What's that?
Frostbitten gadget. sliding on about, but still finds himself in a safe spot. Boss wins out against Tensai though. The Lumi struggling a little bit more against the Jaeyong. Nice gadget usage
Okay,
there.
yeah, that's more like it.
Into his demise.
I mean, he's forced them to
Are we
overstep that side,
sure we don't want to have Luki on the Jaeyong? I mean, Luki plays Max and Barry, and Jaeyong basically is a mix out of that, I think. And Luki is gone. Huh?
Not gonna survive, but they've got good percent.
And again, we saw this from Humble already. They had a good start in their previous round, but they let that lead slip, and they couldn't regain it. So very quickly, they're going to need to assert themselves once more. The map is opened up on the left side. It's going to be harder for Semantic to avoid this damage from Tensai now. Eventually, he'll have to properly challenge the Lumi. But Moya's fallen to Luki, and that super is now in play.
Yeah.
So easy to
What?
projectiles, or at least you would think that's the case.
What?
Was hitting those taps, and here now the map's going to be opened up even more. Another hypercharged super for Moya to earn a hyper should it be required. And Milkro now is really pushing up.
Semantic around the backside gets locked down, and Lumi surely did.
Okay, that's the thing. Boss, just heal, please.
But eventually a pinch of Luki and Boss will get him back to spawn. Now, just sitting on the mid,
okay, but Milkro with the hypercharge, they aren't going to get that one back. That's for sure. Yeah. But I don't really think that CR are going to get this back. Or wait, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Bro! Bro, what?
Well, you said what they wanted to know, how it feels to play from behind. Now they've got a taste of the whole thing. They've got a taste of losing at LAN for the first time since I think they've been a team.
What?
First week by Crazy Raccoon. Humble. They held for so long.
Okay, and Tribe was SKC, Tribe wins. Yeah, I got that.
We talked about it. The strategy is about being consistent, about having broadly strong.
But what?
But when it comes to those jock and all moments, the moments that
hell. To be honest, give Moya some credit.
Fighting their own battle for much of the game. We ended up seeing Lumi emerge victorious, being able to impact the hot zone itself.
Last time those two teams faced off against each other, it was a 3-0 for Humble, a very quick match. Uber, you mentioned how they said in the interview already, we don't really know how to play when we're on the back.
Wow.
That just usually doesn't happen. Humble were meant to be the winner
well,
this one here as well.
RIP SKC, but
for them. Many people see them as the
Sheesh.
again, and now we see Crazy Raccoon is going to be up against Tribe Gaming next in Group B. And Crazy Raccoon on the other side, they had a
now that's crazy.
Here. Nobody expected them, or I think it was 17% expected them to win against Humble today. They had a reverse sweep against Casa Brawl already at the Brawl Cup. Now a reverse.
Oh.
It seems like
well, okay, I got that one right. Oh, but TH versus Totem. That's going to be interesting.
Looked a little bit shaky, but I was really impressed with the way they drafted the Cordelia's opener and then the Chuck closing pick there on Heist. I think for me was emblematic of this team's development.
Yeah.
In their approach to the game outside what happens in the match.
I mean, for me, it kind of seems like they started drafting well after they were 2 down. So the amount of reverse sweeps they've pulled off recently in these tense, difficult moments for them, I think you've got to say they're a team who loves playing from behind.
It looks like Humble loves to just sweep everyone 3-0. That's what they're good at, also at the Brawl Cup, but not today, unfortunately. Kessa, Brawl, and now also Crazy Raccoon.
Okay, so this is going to take a while.
Swept by Crazy Raccoon. They really feel comfortable when the pressure's on. And the pressure's also going to be on for our next 2 teams. We're now heading over to Group C. We have 2 EMEA teams. They know each other. It's going to be such a close match. It's Team Heretics versus Reply Totem.
Wow, I just Well, it makes a bit sense because you know Crazy Raccoon have played on LCQ and thus have more experience exercise, but we
Facing Totem might be a hard job, but we will get it done.
Yeah, facing Totem is the hardest match of our group because they are the landing.
oh okay.
So I think heretics are all of them are hard workers, and they are trying their hardest. I think they are preparing very hard for the first match of the tournament. We also beat them like twice last time we faced. They take it more personally than we do, but I think we are a better team and we will come up on top because they're clueless in the games.
Okay.
16 teams made their way to Stockholm, all crammed into one arena, all chasing the same crown. And now I'm here with two new talents that guide them through the journey, that guide us through every twist and turn. Kenny and Ark, are you ready for today? How has Stockholm been so far?
Stockholm's been incredible. I mean, let there be chaos, folks. We just started out with an absolute bang. Huge upset in Group B, but I think Group C, the group of death, is going to be something different today.
You asked if I'm ready, Sonny. Do I look ready? I hope so.
You look very fine.
It's the most important event of the year. It's what we live for, and it's already been up to such a great start. I mean, who could have predicted that last result, honestly?
So it's not only EMEA and Group C.
The team that we're gonna watch next, Team Heretics, with some very mean gameplay usually. They have Lana, of course, one of the best tank players in the world, and they usually like to build those combos around it. Only one single monthly final had a bit of a rough start, brought in Zar, and with him they did manage to close this year on a high note.
Are one of the only international transfers we've ever had in this game. On the other end, though, a team with a rocky go at it this year. Mari finally trying to find the missing puzzle piece, and this year it's Angel Boy.
Yeah, you know, historically, Reply Totem, they've always been late bloomers. Not just slow starts to the year, but slow starts to the entire season, scraping through at just the final hour, really. But LCQ, Reply Totem did do wondrously well. And we cannot forget, Drake now on the coaching side of things. He was kicked off the Team Heretics roster at the beginning of the year. Now he's got a chance to have the final say.
That is a nice revenge for him, a revenge match. And we already mentioned Zara and Angel Boy, both of them come into this team as the new addition, and both of them bringing in some great experience. They already played in the World Finals 2023 last year. For both of them, it did not work out, and now Reply Totem comes through.
Really, for Totem?
Here to fight.
It's definitely a split prediction here as well, and I imagine for the folks at home too, this could be an EMEA grudge match the whole way.
And I'd say now, let's get this party started. Barney, let's bring out the teams.
Two teams bursting with raw talent. They have the skill.
That's going to be interesting.
Experience, but do they have the synergy? DreamHack, please welcome Team Heretics and Reply Totem. Team Heretics have Zar, Lenan, and I, Chaos. Reply Totem have Maru, Maori, and Angel Boy.
What just happened in the previous match, Humble losing 3-2 to Crazy Raccoon. I don't even want to give my predictions, Ken.
It's a little bit scary. I mean, I'm kind of on danger watch after match number 2 of the day. But
what about what? Okay, yesterday I was a little bit scared that this wouldn't be too exciting, but what the hell?
Angel Boy's back. So many storylines in this one.
No, that's crazy.
For me as well, I really struggled in terms of laying down my predictions.
Please, SG.
So much storyline between these two teams. Like Chaos, of course, was an instrumental person with getting Reply Totem through the LCQ last year.
It won't be that much longer than 2 hours until SSG plays again, so you need to win, guys. Please.
They need to go through LCQ.
Well,
last year it worked out wonderfully for them. Made top 4 in the world.
So much to 10,000 gems. But on the other hand, what do I need this for?
Team Heretics have certainly looked in form as of recent too. They were one of the teams that stood out to me in scrims in the week leading up to this. And I think the ultimate test is when all these international teams start flooding into the same country, right? We're starting to see other strategies, how they fare against different regions.
SSG, you need to win this.
Necessarily the #1 team, a top contender, but they're right there below that. That feels like they have the potential to go to a semifinal at least for me.
Drage, of course, playing on Team Heretics, IKEOS playing on Reply Totem. Both of those two players know exactly what it means to beat the other. They're able to really analyze their strengths and hopefully capitalize on their weaknesses in that regard too. So a lot of personal grudge.
Right, that's the thing.
And I love it.
Can we touch up on how our community loves to deem one of the groups usually the group of death?
Of course.
And Group C is where it's at. That's also why we're showing you your two matches today of this group. We have Team Heretics, Reject, Loud, and Totem. Now those two from EMEA have to face up against each other.
So
first.
Group C is
It's
just
a
going to be
match.
gone?
They play each other all year. Are the nerves now even worse, or are they feeling more comfortable?
I definitely think there's going to be a little bit going here. Anytime it's just a personal affair, I think it just means a little bit more. And to put it in light terms or real life situations, right, both these sides want to win the breakup. It ultimately comes down to that, folks. You just want to win the breakup. IKEOS not with this team any longer after getting the record 4th place, 3rd place kind of setting in the last year's World Finals. Drage, of course, literally being dumped this season. And
oh, yeah, that's a lot of...
is going to be a deeply rooted one. I think this is going to be a huge tone setter for how both these teams do the rest of the way. I can't wait to see how it goes down.
We're going to be so cautious.
Yeah, that's a thing I remember.
I feel like Reply Totem really
Damn.
so dangerous, especially when they were in fear of being swept by Team Electros in that regard. They kept their composure. They brought it back,
down.
and I think that counts for
Down. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Being at LAN so recently, just within the past month or so, it's a great build-up to get to this point where Team Heretics, despite winning a monthly final, they haven't had much in the mid part of that season to go through into the World Finals.
I've mentioned it before how Team Heretics really likes to build their comp around Rilnana. He's going to be the tank player. He's going to be the aggression that they need to just cut into defense. On the other side,
Rage is just, and not Rage, Zara's just playing the leftovers.
Oldest cooperation we have between those two players. They have been playing together for so many years already.
Yeah, 5 worlds in a row now, I think, at least. Now we go into the draft as well. I think this is going to be a very fun one. This screams Alley to me from Team Heretics. It's a brawler that is escalated in the meta. It fits the playstyles of both Lana and Zar. I think this is going to be all about them trying to get one thing on Reply Totem, trying to prevent a draft that's favorable. Sandy, of course, going to be one of the top selected brawlers.
Definitely
Matt's still on the board. And of course, Mina's not going to be banned. It's going to be picked.
I love to see that Sandy ban because both of these two teams really have championed that brawler in their scrims. It's the highest win rate and pick rate for each, so I like to see it. And there's the alley that you mentioned, great call for that as well. I love that for Reply Totem. We've seen how dangerous Zar has been throughout the season on that brawler, so taking it off their hands, I think it's a wise call.
Mina picked up first, makes a lot of sense, as you already said. Once Mina's not banned out, she's probably gonna be picked up, nerfed heftily, and yet still one of the best bowlers in the game. Ali was a good shout here on the right-hand side. On the other side, what do you play against her? Sometimes we see a Shade, very good on a map like this one, can make use of those walls, but he's banned out.
Maybe a thrower.
What else is there?
Well, I think Team Heretics need to establish a mid, and that's what they did just now. Pam is somebody that has up the ranks. It's always been a little bit prevalent in EMEA, but especially with that hypercharge drop, it's changed up everything. It's honestly pretty solid. I think this is a lethal brawler. I think this is going to make things rather difficult for Ali. The way to deal with Ali is to beef up. More HP makes it harder for Ali to get takedown. She can't
that makes actually makes sense. But what about that not Charlie, Jeanette, even Otis? Yeah, I see. I kinda see it, but I'm worried about the Jeanette.
A brawler which they've played a lot in their practices. Now the question here is, do Reply Totem bring in something like a Max, something aggressive in that regard, because it's definitely one of the ones that they've been considering quite highly.
But on the other hand,
Jean could have been an option for them, but I think Janet
maybe a controller, a Gus, Ara. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. That's also why they picked Jeanette.
To try and make a last-second attempt at grabbing those. This is a little bit of a safety net for them, a little bit of aggression as well. But regardless, An intense matchup for both of these teams. EMEA's number 3 taking on EMEA's number 7. Immediately, a very personal match going on here today, and it all goes down to start on Hard Rock Mine.
And like you rightly say, when there's storylines, when there's rush matches, it can get very, very scary. Very slow start in though from Reply Totem, so let's see whether they are still stuck yet. So we may have something going on there. We'll check in just a bit.
Yeah, they're a little bit off bots.
Yeah, they'll be joining the match now. So I'm going to do a little restart here as well. Looks like Reply Totem didn't quite get into the match okay.
Yeah, we're going to make sure we take care of those technical issues and let the teams reset here. I'm assuming drafts will stay the same, though. Can't imagine that was a mistake. It's going to be a tough one regardless. I mean, just by looking at the draft real quickly, a little burst of damage coming in there for Chester. I feel like that's somebody that's been sneaky. It's not somebody that I saw a ton leading into scrims, but we've already seen it a couple times today. I think it's nice just into those beefy brawlers to have that quick burst of damage. You got to be able to remove brawlers, especially ones like Hank, really early, and that's somebody that's super relevant right now.
It's been great to see how much the meta's changed as well since LCQ. Just not even with the biggest of changes, let's be honest. Just very subtle tonings downs of certain brawlers, and Mina was one of them, but she's still actually being picked up quite a lot here, which I quite like for her. I mean, having something so versatile, something so aggressive, I think it's going to really match a lot of the alley play on the other side of the field. But in terms of these two teams, again, like I said, so closely matched. This was a real tough one when it came to my predictions and working out who was going to have the upper hand here.
You know, the seeding in EMEA is so interesting to me because Team Heretics were looking at number 3 seed, Reply Totem number 7. Team Heretics won 1 grand finals and struggled to make any other grand finals the entire year, but that one win was enough to push them over the edge, enough consistency in terms of qualifying. But both these teams certainly weren't perfect, even from getting out of monthly qualifiers. There's only 2 teams in EMEA that made every single month, SK Gaming and Novo, and just being consistent is half the battle in this region.
Yeah, like you said, coming into the match, you know, about how Zara has been, you know, for me, one of those players that has just thrived, coming from another region. And that was the month in which, you know, we saw a massive change from Team Heretics in June when they won the monthly final. That really was all down to that roster change, and a very bold one at that to do mid-season. That takes a lot of guts.
Absolutely. I mean, a bold call as well. And, you know, they really debated that 3rd spot. I don't even know if Zara was technically the number 1 choice, right? They got declined at one point from players from Novo. It's so funny to see how things turn out. And immediately after, Zara kicks in, and what does he do? He wins a grand finals, one of his first in 2 years. Absolutely crazy. On the other end, though, Angel Boy Drage, a pairing that's definitely an interesting duo, right? I feel like we have this establishment of Maru Mari. Just been a twosome for years. Absolutely fearsome. So consistently making worlds. They've had some close calls the last couple times, but I think they've been always trying to find what's going to push them over the edge. And I really do believe that Drage could be an excellent coach. I mean, just the top-level gameplay that he's had in the past. His mindset has always been helping out with drafts anyways, and now being able to coach on the sidelines as well mid-game is even beneficial, just to have the best eyes on them at all times.
Yeah, Drage and Angel Boy, of course, former teammates, you know, going back to 2024 LCQ. Wasn't quite to be for them. They didn't make the World Finals. They just came shy in that regard to Eternal Fire, but it's been one of those years to see Angel Boy thrive. You know, he's had a really rough run, let's be honest, at World Finals themselves, and actually getting to those World Finals too. I think 2023 was that LCQ where Angel Boy just went absolutely crazy, but then contrasted so heavily by a bit of a lackluster performance at that World Finals. So does not want to repeat that. This has got to be a different year for him.
Yeah, and I think that's a big deal with these opening matches, right? If the number 7 seed from EMEA, the last chance qualifier team of this group, can get a win early, I mean, chaos is going to be let loose. That's going to shake Team Heretics a little bit. It's going to give Totem confidence. How you start, especially if you don't lose your first life, right? This is a group stage, so everybody technically has 2 goes at this. Even if you lose in your opening match today, you get a second go at it in the elimination match later on. I think just starting with a little cushion, a little comfort, only playing 1 match today, mentally a big difference, and obviously quite literally saves you a life.
Well, it shouldn't be too much longer now, since we will be getting the draft up again shortly, and the players will be going in yet again. Just resetting as we speak, and of course with gem grab that takes a little bit of time, so it won't be too much longer now, as the crowd is sure no doubt wanting to see their best go at it. A lot of Totem fans in the crowd today, a lot of noise already resonating forwards, and that is what we want to see at a Brawl Stars World Finals.
Yeah, we are in Stockholm after all, so a lot of these European powerhouses, Totem, we already saw Humble. The SK crowd was certainly loud as well in that dominant victory over Revenant X-Spark. Plenty of fans here packing our arena on a Friday. We're going to be here all weekend long, folks. And it's going to be exciting, too. I mean, these are 2 teams that I expected this to be a close matchup, but taking our last one, for example, Humble versus CR, did not expect CR to win in the way they did. So I think we're full of surprises this weekend.
Yeah, we were just discussing before coming on to the desk how that's a great thing in our opinion, because it just means that this World Finals, anything goes, anything can happen. What we think we know is not necessarily going to be the case, and that's exciting. I think that on every level that is only a good thing, and very much looking forward to seeing how Humble recover from that, as it's a very tough group. But as we were saying coming into this match, Group C is what the community widely refer to as the group of death. And you know, for me, Team Heretics and Reply Totem are one of the biggest 50-50 matchups. For me, it was just that Novo Esports versus Space Station, and then you know, Foot Esports versus Papara Supermassive. They were my big three that I was very hard to decide on.
Your gut's off to a good start today. I think the world missed out on Humble, so I'll give you a little leeway there. But honestly, Novo SSG, a good one. I mean, there's plenty of ones here. And I think this is more coined the group of death out of the public eye, because there's no super clear frontrunner, right? Yeah. I mean, Team Heretics, the number 3, we're obviously favored with the crowd, but they're the number 3 seed from EMEA. This isn't Humble's resume. This isn't SK's resumes of lands past. So the fact that we have the number 1 seed from SA that we'll see later, and Loud, Reject are a team that people I think are going to believe in, 2 European longtime powerhouses. Such a fun group, and truly no clue who's going to walk out of here alive.
That's why my heart just wants to give an edge to Reply Totem. You know, having come from the LCQ is a massive opportunity to just put all your practice to the test. I mean, it really is the ultimate challenge until you get to those World Finals. And to come out alive is a rare thing, and Reply Totem were that team to thrive, but my reservations there was, were they fully tested? Chapter of Happiness, of course, from the Chinese mainland region, you know, they were able to sweep them, but it wasn't the biggest of competition for them in their experience to date. And Navi, of course, didn't really look themselves either at their LCQ. It was the Team Electros match, the golden ticket match, that they really shone through and were able to display such an amazing ability to stay composed. Well, that was LCQ. This is now the World Finals. That sort of winning mentality has got to remain the same.
I think the composure is the biggest thing to take away from that, right? I think now that they've seen that they can make a comeback like that, they're never going to lose the faith, even if they get stomped on a couple sets. I think that's a big takeaway. The other counterpoint would be, that was the number 5 seed of NA. This isn't the number 5 seed of NA. This isn't Chapter of Happiness. This is the World Finals. These are the top teams from the top regions around the world. I think that's the concern with the team too, just from chatting with them a little bit. Can we take what we did at LCQ and replicate it? Because this is the bigger league.
Exactly that. It is exactly that. And Team Heretics, of course, an organization, one of the biggest storylines coming into this year. Surprised us all. I mean, coming into the EMEA region, which is obviously so competitive, arguably the most competitive of all the regions in Brawl Esports, and making it to those World Finals, it's a fantastic way to start your year in Brawl. And I think with the roster, which they had at the start of the year, many question marks around it actually, because you know, no one really saw the pairing, let's be honest, of iChaos, Drage and Lenar. I mean, of course Drage and Lenar played together on Foot Esports back in 2023, but I mean, iChaos and Drage wasn't a pairing that many saw coming, and it obviously didn't work out. But I think, you know, Zar was the missing piece of that puzzle, and it was a great thing to see someone from North America come to EMEA and thrive.
It's a cool thing to see. I mean, honestly, Zar's had a huge career in North America. He's a longtime legend, got second place in the 2023 World Finals. So I think just having a veteran join this squad of kind of leftovers, right? That's what they talked about themselves. That's what they called themselves before the big signing. And I love it. I mean, it feels very, I mean, it's not the same, but it feels very Humble 2024-esque, right? It's a bunch of guys who got left out of the equation. They formed a team, and now they're here. Great success to start off the year, but it all comes down to how you play under the bright lights on the world stage. Here we go, folks. Let's get this party started. Team Heretics versus Reply Totem.
Well, Angel Boy wasted no time at all to go straight for the gem, but since then, a bit of static and players standing still, so clearly an unresolved issue there to look into, and we'll get back to that as soon as we possibly can. But yeah, clearly we want the players to be in the best possible place to ensure that everything is above board, and it seems that we've still got some connection issues, unfortunately.
We'll make sure we get that squared away. Again, if we're going to have a result, we want it to be as authentic as possible, of course, and to give you folks at home a show as well. So we're going to ensure that everything is okay on the stage. Exact same drafts, though. Nothing's going to switch up there now that we've seen the drafts. Still going to be that Chester-Pam combo that we saw. Ali going to be making her appearance on this stage as well. Tara on the other end for a good X Factor. So just kind of reminding y'all of what those brawlers are going to look like here in a little bit. The meta's been quite a fun one to watch too. I think to your point earlier, a really interesting set of stuff. These balance changes took a lot of our previous big dogs, the ones especially at LCQ, brought them down a little bit. A lot of them are still strong, right? We're still seeing Mina. Cord's going to show up quite a bit. There's a few of them that got touched in that second set of balance changes on the 12th that really impacted things, but it's neutralized them too. It's cool to see this distribution of brawlers once again.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed seeing how the meta's settled, and we're kind of hearing that quite a lot broadly across the community, how things have just kind of got to a much more even place with much more variety, much more options of brawlers to choose from. I like that Ruffs has now found his place, that every brawler has a hypercharge. We kind of expected to see it, but it took a while for Ruffs to really find his place again. And Otis has been creeping forwards ever so slightly now in very much that kind of S-tier position for me and, of course, Meeple. We had that phase where he first came into the game and it was very overpowering, of course, with the gadget. It's just very, very hard to deal with. It's so suppressive and so able to divide the map and just get rid of Bush and that kind of thing. But Kaze, you know, despite nerfs, still in a very, very good spot. And those are my kind of top ones that I'm looking for. I mean, since the LCQ, I mean, we didn't see any of her. And at least now we get to see her. It's not going to be a perma insta kind of ban for her. So I'm very much excited to see her pop off.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at the end of this if somebody like Otis showed up at the top of those player rate charts, right? I just think there's so many safe brawlers now. They're kind of those first picks, safe picks that show up a lot in the pick rate. But one thing that I'm really thrilled about is the amount of assassins we now have. It's not just the Lily show anymore, right?
You're alone.
I'm alone. I don't know. I just think of the nice little distribution. We got some alley coming back a little bit. It's not all just like run the tank, walk it forward. There's more distribution now. We've even seen that alone today. So it's nice to see some support brawlers. You mentioned Colonel Ruffs coming back. Byron's been in the equation, depending on the map and mode. Gus gets in the mix a little bit. Heck, we've even got Pam running rampant right now. I mean, there's plenty to go around.
And I want a sharpshooter to tap into the Pam. I want to bring that back. You know, give me a legendary sharpshooter. I'm fully with Bobby on that side of things. I think, you know, it's kind of like, you know, predict the next brawler. Well, probably a mythic brawler, probably an assassin at that. But it does make it very much a daunting prospect for the best in the world to fully grasp how to be able to go around those really suppressive assassination brawlers. And certainly this year has been plenty of those coming into the forefront of the meta. But about time to kind of like just bring them down a little bit of a notch, make it a little bit more balanced. I'm really happy where the game is currently.
Yeah, and I'm more so not necessarily introducing new ones, but more of a, you know, let's see if they're all at least a little more equal. It's not just the Lily show. We've got a few running around right now.
Well, speaking of running around, Barney's running around the venue somewhere. Let's go and check in to see what's going on with him.
In and around DreamHack Stockholm, there's of course a lot more than just the esports. The esports is the phenomenal part. It's right behind you guys right now. However, we're in the photo booth right here. Brawl Stars themed photo booth, to be precise. There's so many cool Brawl Stars themed items that you can pick up and that you can use and go into the photo booth, take your own photos and have a lot of fun as we go. So right now, I've signaled and I'm going to do some cool photos here. I'm going to follow it around as we go. There's photo booths, there's meet and greets, which we're going to show you a little bit later on today. So many activations, you're going to have to come down and see for yourself.
Well, players are now getting to the position of hopefully being ready to go. And personally, I cannot wait for this. I've got to talk about the venue a little bit more coming off from Barney, but we were discussing during our prep in the hotel just how far the queue went back. Wow, I didn't end up posting it, we kind of got busy, but it's so many people that were desperate to get into the venue this morning, and the queue went all around the bridge here. It just went on for as far as the eye could see, and just great to see so many people enjoying DreamHack.
Yeah, DreamHack Stockholm packed. I can see the gift shop from our little stand up here. All the Brawl merch being bought. It's excellent to see plenty of fans repping their favorite jerseys. Totem to go around. I've seen plenty of Team Heretics, all these EMEA teams. Oh, a little rivalry on the camera too. That's respect. Trying to cover up the homies thing. That's a good old rivalry. That's some good sports right there. Nothing like two friends going at it.
I want to put you on the spot. If I have to ask you now, who you think is going to go the whole distance?
Oh boy.
It's an early stage of the competition to say.
Fair enough.
Who are you thinking?
Look, I've picked SK 2 straight lands, and they've unfortunately fallen literally as short as you possibly can against some of the best teams. Humble's officially made me nervous, so I was debating Humble versus SK. Honestly, I could go either way. I mean, obviously, SK have an extra life right now, so I kind of leaning that way if I'm being honest.
So this is for esports versus Power Supermassive currently going on, and it's already one game for esports. This was, again, a massive 50-50 for me.
Agreed.
I really struggle with this, but Power Supermassive, they really, really want this win. I mean, there's a bit of a rivalry going on in that regard. for esports, they're definitely a big favorite, and many top players saying that they could go the full distance in this competition.
I'd be curious to see the split on how people voted, because I still think they're going to go with Foot, right? I mean, previous world champions from 2023, Sup did escape the LCQ though, and honestly, we're seeing a superstar in the making. I mean, Enraged had an unbelievable LAN performance, especially for how early on in his career he is. I think that was something that was a big thing to overcome, and right now this is looking like a really tough match. But obviously, one game up here, Sup should be able to knock this one forward though. Filippo, low HP, gonna make it through though. This is gonna look like it's gonna be a tight match. We'll be covering Team Heretics and Reply Totem once we get that up and running, but at least it's good to see a lot of close matches, because the first day especially is kind of telling of where these teams are at. You just never know how they're gonna show up this weekend.
Yeah, really tough decision there as well to utilize the speed of the hypercharge to get the ball, despite passing to Felipe, who was the lower.
Oh, that's so deep you're falling.
From Papara Supermassive Orb to
Yeah.
get that game to tie up this first set. But I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Enraged. Watching the LCQ back right here, I was so impressed watching just how consistent he was tapping on that Angelo, which was a very strong pick for him in the Byron. And you know, speaking to him at Brazil, I just couldn't believe that this was someone who was playing his first LAN. He is so hungry for it. He looks a little bit like Tom from Nova Esports back in 2019, but he also has that inner burning drive to play, and that's what I really felt was the similarity between them. And I think Enraged has got a massive amount of potential to still have. I mean, his career could be so long as he's so young.
Could be one of the future GOATs of this region. Could even have a good performance here on the world stage. They're going to be behind the scenes right now. We're covering Team Heretics and Reply Totem on this end, though. We're going to get that up and running. Number 3 seed versus number 7 seed. Had a little bit of delay there, folks, but we're hoping we can get you all that match up and going. We're going to wait around and see, and it's looking like they're still struggling just a tad, so we're going to be holding off on that. Good news is, though, if you need any other content, we'll still be here. We're still going to yap. It's what we do. It's what we do best.
That's the good news. The bad news is probably in predictions right now, because I can't
no, that's confirmed. Yeah, predictions are down the drain.
Be honest in the chat, because, I mean, we were united here, weren't we, on that?
Yeah, we were. Absolutely. Defending world champion, defending World Cup champion. No apologies from me.
I feel like this is probably the best World Finals to bring in the gems incentive from Brawl, because it's going to be such a tough one. I mean, this match is going to be no different.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm liking Notice pick, and the Buster I think is quite underrated.
What was it?
As well. B as well.
83% are already out just from that one game.
Like their style of play. They don't tend to always just stick purely to the meta. Brawlers like, you know, Nani as well, and
well,
they really like
I want to see how many guys.
Despite this being a very assassinated
Because I can't see really that.
Culprits in that band stage too. I think you're going to see Hank. His name is going to be called a ton this weekend. Even Squeak though is somebody in Bounty, Knockout, some of these Brawl Ball maps too, where I think you could see him. He's really pesky to deal with, and of course we've talked about it already. You guys have seen it if you've been watching today. But Meeple, Mina on that top left band side with Foot, you can kind of figure out just based on these. I imagine that left hand side was playing against the first pick. Wouldn't have surprised me if that Otis on that top side was the #1 selection overall. So I'm guessing Sup had that first overall pick locked in there. Otis 4-5 turn kind of went with that Buster Stew combo.
This is how Foot loves to play, just staying back and waiting for the right time, waiting for that entire.
Oh damn, Enraged.
See the Power Supermassive play a bit more defensively in that regard now as well, bring the ball forward. Hypercharge there for Tomsy as well. So I mean, all in all, Power Supermassive doing really well on the defense despite a tough position. But this being in overtime, you know, it's going to be a problem.
Called out as well, but another Chester here too. I mean, we've seen that kind of across the board. I'm a little surprised. I just think the limitation on anti-tanks, especially depending on how van stages go, might be why he's showing up so much. I don't think he was super touched in anything like the balance changes, so kind of cool to see his rise once again. I know there's a lot of Chester fans at home as he's one of our legendary brawlers. And Razor's a little pop-off right there, though. Had to drop the hypercharge. Now Foot being backed off. A little 1v1 here. I mean, this is set #1 with Foot. Papara really going crazy.
Very close match, this one. You know, as I already expected and hoped that it would be. Really did struggle to decide which team was going to have the advantage, but so far it's still Papara on that defensive side. But if Gary can just bring this connection here, Thompson's in a really tough spot too here. He's probably going to fall. It should lead to the goal if Gale can push forward. But those mo shots just didn't connect with them.
Dodges from Garo shots as well, and now with 15 to go, Sup have a super available with Stu. They could march this down. I think Filippo's just gonna have to tank some shots. Really is feeling like they need to be playing for overtime. Oh, they passed Meow as a super too. Garo up the middle of the map, right into Tom's hits, though. Just gonna go to that top hand side and tie there. So this is all of a sudden 1-1. First set, and they got a tie. So we're going to a game 4 on that opening one. Plenty of bangers to start out our day.
Absolutely wild. Back to Group C, where we are still just waiting for the repicking of the brawlers for Team Red between Team Heretics and Reply to our main coverage will be commencing as soon as the teams have been able to reset successfully. Still a couple of issues to be able to get them moving, so we're just looking into that. We obviously want to make sure that everything is working as smoothly as possible straight off the bat. So it's definitely the right call. We'll get to it as soon as we possibly can.
Jumping in the
What?
game.
What?
Down
What?
before, I guess, right? Trying
What's
to be over
that?
for either foot or Kapara Supermassive. So this is Group D.
We basically missed.
Still alive here, barely holding on. Again, just some fun drafts, and I think two teams that we were kind
Gee.
of on. Sup has really felt like they've hit good form. Maybe it's a confidence boost
Oh.
for LCQ. Obviously, the regular season didn't go their way, and Rage wasn't with them the whole year. I will add that. So now that they've got more time with here, maybe that was the piece that they needed just to put this puzzle all together. Because Filippo and Tomsy have been around for a long time. Very solid players, not quite World Finals caliber level, but always in the LCQ mix.
Oh,
I
damn.
mentioned that as Meow just scores that goal for Foot Esports there, but because if Rage coming in so late, here's some huge boots to fill because Salty's an amazing player, and I was really quite surprised honestly because Rage has been around, but he's not necessarily been in the forefront of a lot of Brawl Esports action. So to see him be so hungry for it at the LCQ and play so consistently, I was just so impressed. And
Well,
I feel like this could be a real contender, despite many kind of looking at just pure.
I remember the first monthly final this year. So I think it was February.
And that's why going into the
February.
LCQ, a massive underdog.
And I
afloat,
think
key, really.
In terms of conversations
that
online as well, I feel like Group D
and Rage
got
played
the least amount of
for
coverage from our public, and I feel like they deserve
the
more because they're a real interesting squad. That's a nice knockdown there.
in a
Foot take set number
circle.
1 of our Group D match. I think in
The
general,
game
Group
that
D
now is in a
weird stage division,
circle,
a really strong squad. Foot,
and
2023 World Champions, Sup have played phenomenally in
they
spring. Off the backs of an LCQ
destroyed
run that I was feeling pretty smooth sailing overall. They had some trouble with a team like Team
some
Electros in a great match,
parts.
but Team Electros were one of the better teams I thought from that LCQ. I think if they're on this
Yeah.
world stage, they would be a very competitive team, especially considering
What I want to say with
America
that
has not
is
been as hot recently,
I
but they seem like a young gun team. They put it all together really recently.
expected
I've been
Enrage
thoroughly
to
impressed. I
be
think Group D is going to
extremely
show
good
us what they're made
for
of
the
in
entirety of
I think it might be rewritten
these
as the
monthly
death, quite honestly. If
Could be.
SK Men can
finals
really
of the
bring
season.
something to the table and surprise a lot of us, we are so looking for those underdog stories, and I feel like they could be a bit of a lurking team, which many might be
Still nothing.
underestimating in that regard. But certainly for the moment, Group C still holds that title as the community has spoken. And you are looking at two of those teams which
And
really
then
are
RC
top of their
versus
game right now.
Loud.
For me, we've seen this
Okay,
match
that's
actually
a
play itself
group
out
of
in monthly
that.
finals between Team Heretics and Reply Totem itself, and that was where Reply Totem were able to cause a massive upset. Let's be honest. I mean that was actually the best
Crazy.
monthly final they had in July, where they were able to.
To be honest, I don't think anyone is going to get these 10,000 gems.
I mean, despite having these additional regional slots, as thanks to SK Gaming and Humble at Broadcast, we wouldn't have Reply Totem here. Let's be honest, if it weren't for that. But certainly, that was a period in time.
What are they doing?
So they wouldn't even be here.
Yeah, humble walk so these teams could run. They already took a loss here today, so defending world champions, one of the storylines so far, already lost their first life of the group stage against the team that got second, a team without Chitampo. Milcreo stepping in a wonderful job in our previous match. Europe's been such a fun region. It always is. I feel like it's such a deep region of competition. It's been so interesting to watch. Well, for now, though, while we get these guys squared away, we're going to send it over to friends of the program. Mr. Banks, I think you've got somebody for us.
Welcome to the Player Lounge, the area where all of our players like to chill out, get their heads in the zone before they go live, either on the main stage, and we've had our backstage matches today.
Is there
as well.
someone
Trav joining
from
me.
SSC?
How's it going, man? How you feeling so far?
Yeah, it was a pleasure. A few
Help me.
upsets here and there. My predictions are not going well, I'll tell you that right now. But I'm going to get a redemption arc going in the second half.
We are going to get some redemption, I believe. I think I might be one of the few people that actually voted for Novo as well, because we had Novo versus SSG. That was one of our
Shut up.
But let's kick things off. Give a little reminder to the
I'll
people
talk.
that are watching from home as well. Some of the people that maybe joined DreamHack a little bit later on in the day. Some of the stuff that's happened so far. We've had SK Gaming, absolutely dominant performance on the main stage from the rip. What was it for you? You were up there, you were
Oh,
casting
SK
in. How did you feel about that match?
Yeah, I was super surprised, to be honest with you. I thought Revenant put up a bit of a bigger fight. You know, they had a really good performance at LCQ, and, you know, SK looking as strong as they are, you kind of expect them to win, but, you know, it was the end result we expected, but the journey, I kind of thought would be a bit different.
And then, of course, the talk of the town at this point, right now, in the day especially. Humble versus Crazy Raccoon. Humble looking solid out of the gates. Crazy Raccoon just started to gain some momentum, and you just can never count them out, can you?
Absolutely. I mean, we touched it a little bit on the stream when we were up there casting. The draft kind of just flipped. Like, Humble started so well, had 2 great drafts, and then the 3 following was just incredible. Like, they didn't even drop a game in those 3 sets that they managed to win. It was just all-out domination against Humble, which is, you know, a crazy feat in itself.
Seeing Humble take that first loss, and then now they're going to be playing to survive later today is an insane thought to think. But, you know, are they the kind of team that can hustle together, gather, and kind of get their mind right before going into the lower bracket
they
match on
still
day 1?
can win this entire
I think
thing.
it was Uber they said it to. They were like, they want to know how it feels to play from behind, get a bit of experience, but I don't think they intended to lose from that kind of situation. So I think it's a good learning curve for them, and I think in the long run it might help them, but they've got to get through the next game. They go into this one, obviously heavy favorite again, but they were going into the last one heavy favorite as well, so anything can happen.
Exactly. I think also there is something to say. I know a lot of people may disagree with me because everyone likes to go with mechanical skill, synergy amongst the team, but there is something to say that gives you a little bit of extra confidence if you've already performed on stage as well. Humble, they'll be going up against SK Kalalas, right, on the main stage. SK Kalalas is their first time stepping out on the world final stage. It's a bit daunting, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've just taken a pretty heavy, well, it wasn't too heavy, 3-1 loss against Tribe as well, so it's going to be tough for them to bounce back from that. They don't have the experience, as you say, as Humble do, so from that position, it's going to be very hard to be against the world champion, no stage experience, and you've just lost against Tribe, who, you know, they're kind of, at least in my opinion, that tier below Humble, so it's going to be difficult for them to bounce back.
It's going to be a tough one. Thank you so much, Trav, for joining me here backstage in the player lounge. Back to you guys.
Who let that guy on? Who let him on?
Oh my gosh. He already talks enough. Goodness gracious.
Any chance to get in front of the camera and just show off that lovely new haircut that he's been telling everyone about, it's just getting so good.
It does rock. I do respect the haircut, I won't lie. It's been a good change up. The glow up from the young man has been amazing. All love, Mr. Trav.
Enraged on Fang.
Being played on this map right now.
Damn.
That's a bit out there to me. Cordelius as well.
What?
Now a little dive in here. 7-7 Blue Star Swing.
What is that?
Interesting draft. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of piece the puzzles together, right? We didn't see the band stage. We didn't see all that. I see who the bands were, but I'm kind of wondering what order of operations were for this one.
Yeah, Fang's definitely not been on my radar too heavily. I would say that this map, in this bounty specifically in Shooting Star, probably the best places for it if you are going to bring it in. Let's see whether Enrage can get any value.
I think it was a
tough spot to go in.
Gus first pick, then Onion J Young, followed by Hit and Fang, and the last pick card. Wild card of our team.
Yeah, Nani actually shows up a lot right now. One of the top 3 brawlers. That's a good frag right
Enrage.
now they're wheeling the peep as well. Gonna run head first into Gus. 9 seconds to go.
Jump on Filippo.
Just enough to hold on here. I don't think Sup are going to be able to penetrate the defense. This is really well played. Flip once again taking a set. It's only 1-0 in this set, and the first one was a heated battle, but I really thought this one was going to be tough. I mean, we talked about it. This felt like a 60-40 to me. I really do think Sup have a chance here.
Yeah, I sat my predictions for a very long time before I sort of had to will down the hammer, and I said online that I was putting out my predictions, but I was actually going to be changing them prior to the show, and in hindsight, I'm very glad I did. But it has been like that, and you and me are very much, you know, I think we see eye to eye a lot in predictions. I think we look a lot at the scrim data also. That is a bit of a question as to how relevant players seem to feel that is, but we seem to think it carries some weight.
I definitely think it does. I mean, how are they practicing against these teams is important. It's not everything. It doesn't end all be all, but I'm looking for outliers a lot of the times. Who are the teams that are doing better than I expected? Yeah. Who are the teams that are doing better than they did in the regular season? And a team like Sup certainly outperformed what I thought they would do, especially after being an LCQ team. So their scrim rate was well above 50% going into this. In the last 7 days, they were looking strong. I mean, I think you could say that for a whole as Group D. Foot Esports certainly in that category too, even as the number 4 seed. But previous world champions, I have no question marks about their lane experience. You know, I'm going to take that more with a grain of salt.
I think for me, Crazy Raccoon as well are that team for me. Not just because they just beat Humble, but coming out of LCQ and stopping that reverse sweep happening for Castable to make it to those World Finals are a team which, you know, for me in the regular season of play, didn't really look
Oh,
strong.
Tom C.
In my opinion, was definitely in 2024. Now, starting to get that
Something.
pace back.
Here we go,
Oh.
folks. Team Heretics versus Totem.
Oh,
Opening up this
finally.
one
Only
for you all.
took.
Underway.
I
Looking
don't know
good
how
so
long it
far. There
took.
we go, folks. Let's get the party started. Team Heretics reply Totem. Angel Boy off to the races on the left-hand side as Mari grabs 3 gems. Early lead for the red roster.
Yeah, I really like Totem's comp.
Angel Boy on this alley. I'm loving him on that particular brawler. He's always been aggressive and getting a lot of value as well.
Ooh, Angel Boy cooking.
None going straight into the mid, but Mari then with the jetpack will evade it.
Oh,
Now
Mori.
look at Angel Boy again. Finding and seeking and destroying is what Ali is all about.
He is a nuisance right now. He picks up 1 gem, which is a little dangerous, but he's going to continue to be aggressive. Now Maru, free access to the left-hand side. They are lurking. Now iChaos left all alone. Going to just have to take coverage in this grass as Maru extends. Angel Boy still resting on this left-hand side. Healing station will reveal Gadget being popped for Angel Boy. Zar trying to take him down.
Wasn't SSG like Heretics like that team with the second highest run rate?
Team taking off here. Janet now at 10, and they're going to be slowly backing away.
Oh, Lena, what was that?
I don't think he's going to be able to even get there in time. Mari can take the skies. Gems being split wasn't even a problem. That's a strong, comfortable start there. First game goes the way of Reply Totem.
Super aggressive start as well. They sent Ali down so quickly just to get in the enemy's face.
Yeah.
If Angel Boy pops off like that, this is going to be a really tough set to win. Chester, Pam, Mina don't have as easy of a reverse mechanic. That's something that Tora has with that pull. Ali for the aggression. Team Heretics seem to be playing the control game here. And now starting off a new one. It's going to be Zar facing down Mari in the middle. Angel Boy once again flanking on this left-hand side. He's just lurking in this grass. Now diving, bouncing. Lana there to give him a swift kick to the face and send him back to the graveyard.
Now utilizing the shielding there of the pets. A good place. But now it's time for Team Heretics to get in this game. They've been a little bit absent. Zar staying in the middle now, getting the 3 gems of which he needs. It's Angel Boy that is so dangerous. But he's been spotted by iChaos. Missed shots though. Super goes down. Angel Boy still lives.
That's a big survival as well, because now they have to focus their energy over there. So it's going to be a 2v2 scenario, but that allowed Totem to migrate from that top side over to the left. They've got a station down as well, so Zar with plenty of heals, and it's going to be hard to extend and destroy that as well. Angel Boy's got his work cut out for him.
Mari looking very precarious there for a moment, but staying alive. Nonetheless, those healing stations are going to be giving a lot of value over, especially when Angel Boy is on the attack here. Nice Mina connections though, but it's a struggle, and Angel Boy still survives, taking down Lana. And that man himself knows how to be aggressive. The healing station goes down, but it's still not enough, and Angel Boy might be able to steal these out.
Oh, and a little juke as well. Gets just enough health points to back away. Now 9 gems in the pockets of Reply Totem. Team Heretics, all their loot plundered. Zar has to stand tall, and Lana needs to extend the territory. Angel Boy unafraid though. Pops the gadget, gets in their faces. Now Maru left-hand side. Mari trying to gain the visibility, and he's going head on first. Take flight, young man. It's going to be a purple button connecting with Zar. Gadget out of desperation, but Team Heretics certainly in trouble.
Maru's going to connect here in a really lovely way. Lenan struggling to just be able to get away back with those gems. It's a really tough spot here for Team Heretics, very slow to the mark. There's a hypercharge there from Chaos, but will it be enough as Angel Boy just scoots around the map? Maru takes to the skies. The gems are safe and sound yet again. Reply Totem will take the first set.
That looked a little too easy for me, Ark.
Yeah.
Didn't love that out of Team Heretics. I feel like this is a squad that is typically really aggressive, and that was such a passive comp. It doesn't really seem like the archetype of what I'm used to out of them, and you can see it in the kill count too. 3 for Lana, iChaos with a couple. Zara, of course, as the Pam. I don't expect a lot of kills, and even in a mode like Gym Grab, though, where frags aren't everything, when you're looking at the other side, and Mari as a Janet has as many as your entire roster, it's going to be nearly impossible to win that.
Yeah, definitely a tough start for Team Heretics. Didn't really seem to get into the game too much. I think maybe some of the brawlers there were not really what they were looking for in that regard. I know that they do love to play Ali, and Ali now in a much better spot. taken off the table, and that's again a lot to do with Rage and what he brings to the team on the side of Reply Totem. But let's see, draft coming forward soon, and a different map. I think going to Super Beach up next, so definitely a chance still for comebacks. We saw it earlier today already, so let's see what more Team Heretics can bring.
The mechanics of Angel Boy paired with Liaison Drage, who's going to be kind of able to coach through these players what they should be doing. I feel like Drage is almost empowering these guys. Angel Boy, go get it, and then setting up the other players to make sure that they can collect those gems. A very powerful and strong start here for Reply Totem, who took a 2-0 set one. Super Beach going to be a different story, I imagine, though. I'm not ready to give up on Team Heretics by any means, but I think we're going to need to see a step up from them. They just got dominated in that opener.
Yeah, they didn't recover very well
off
the back of it. They just didn't really kind of respond to the situation too well for me. And that was actually my reservation when I predicted for Team Heretics instead of Reply Totem, because Totem have a tendency to be quite slow to the mark getting themselves started. And that was the complete opposite. That makes me kind of fearful, actually, for what Team Heretics may have to deal with moving forwards in this series. But for now, there's time. But that will dwindle down, as we've seen already today, that momentum of that first set. We saw it with SK. It's very much instrumental.
Losing your opening match typically does not set up for great long-distance success. Just losing that life at the earliest moment makes your run much trickier. It doesn't make it impossible, but a lot more difficult. Now we head on to Super Beach, though, so Team Heretics, an opportunity to redeem themselves. Meeple certainly in ban consideration. Mina, a brawler we saw in the previous match, probably going to be banned if you don't have that first overall pick, and I'm looking out for the little shrimp. It's Mr. Hank.
Yeah, little shrimp. Yeah,
little shrimp, big
you are
tank.
right, actually. Yeah,
little
you
shrimp,
are right.
big tank.
It's a very menacing brawler, and it's not actually banned out, so great call from you, and I think it will probably show its face as well in that regard. But I mean, I'm seeing a lot of the big ones banned out. Cordelius as well too. Wow, this is really looking quite good in terms of the bans. Meeple though is left open. That's definitely one that I've got my eye on in that regard. Larry and Laurie as well, the Willow, these are brawlers that, you know, despite being very, very good in brawl, yeah, Hank first pick, yeah, it kind of had to be. The Cordelius ban being there as well makes it quite tough, but we haven't seen Shelly be a strong answer to some things here today. I think that you've got to come prepared for that Hank and know what to have instead. That was a brawler not on my radar.
So Ash was actually 100% what I was expecting out of Team Heretics. So this has been the most common solution on this map in particular into Hank. And I think this was a very targeted ban under Reply Totem. So Otis normally is going to be the main man to cover Hank. Big burst of damage. You can stun him out with your super as well, and that's what keeps Hank from healing. The second best choice, though, I think, is this Ash. And because of how frequently Otis is banned, that's why he's showing up so much in scrims. You're going to pair this with Max as your mid. Really like this start for Team Heretics. They have to be careful now if they do leave open a brawler like Meeple, who is lethal in this meta.
Yeah, I like the Meeple. I really do for Reply Totem. But I like the pairing of the Max and the Ash, honestly. You know, having Ash be quite slow and sluggish to then combine with the speed, it's going to be able to push it forward. Despite not having the rage, there's the Willow that I was looking for.
Yeah.
It's just such a defensive brawler in that regard. Barley's a good shout, but it's just no Willow, in my opinion. Those kills, though, no doubt going to help tremendously with Ash and the aggression of this Max. No, it's great to see Max coming forwards now in the meta. It's going to make a big difference, especially playing into brawlers like Hank. Very easy to get overrun when you've got a Max on the other side of the field.
Quick checklist there. I was just so surprised at how quickly it happened. You see Willow, they're going to go with a thrower that does well into the Willow, typically on this map as well. Barley, they were so fast to make those decisions. Reply Totem, number 7 seed from EMEA, looking to start out hot after going through LCQ, trying to take down one of the big dogs of Europe here in our opener.
Well, a lot of work to do for Team Heretics, but they've had a chance to reset mentally. And now Zara pushing the ball forwards. Nun's in a good spot for it as well. Maru's low here. They can bring us forwards. They couldn't quite secure the shot though, so that Hank going to be able to heal up in that top left. Big heal's going to come out from IKOS now. Angel Boy's in a very aggressive spot, and he is the Willow. Super shot forwards as well. Can he get the ball forwards? He gets there. Oh, the mind control! It was beautiful.
Nasty work. Super pass to the super. Mind control, checkmate. Nothing else they could have done. Maru on the right-hand side this time. Star in the middle of the map. Trying to get aggressive here. Lana already taken down early, though, so with 3v2 situation, numbers going the way of Totem. They're surging up the middle of the map. Now a hypercharge. They have access to the entire middle.
Yeah, this Meeple hypercharge is absolutely disgusting. It's one of the many reasons why Meeple's creep forwards as Totem are doing just that. It's going to be an easy breezy walk through for Maru, and that's the game gone. Immediately, Team Heretics are looking very worrisome.
There hasn't been any shining moments so far from Team Heretics. Number 3 seed out of EMEA, struggling out of the gates. This is another powerful draft out of Totem. They have their aggressor. They have Meeple, one of the better brawlers in the game, and now they have another goal-scoring opportunity with Willow and their supers. They're going to have to find a way to shut this down. Sure, they shut him down on paper. Ash is a nice matchup to Hank. It's how well-rounded your composition is, though. Reply Totem are playing better, drafting better, just all around good stuff from them.
Barry's in a heavy pinch here between Zara and Lanaz. Now, Angel Boy being behind, it does leave an opportunity for a potential walkthrough here as well, but that's the power of the Meeple gadget there as well. It's very, very strong, and it's stopped the ball, and it's tracked Zara with a dash. Lovely from Zara, and that's what Heretics need.
Little scrappy, little perseverance. Nice teamwork there. This time it's going to be Maru starting off on the aggressive. The slow down Lana is where he can take advantage. Now a super charged up as well. Zar crippled, low HP. Maru charging back up with that super as well. 3 members from Totem walking up the middle of the map. A takedown down center lane, and he's going to dive already in the goal. It's a 1-1 situation. Totem just an ounce away from taking this set.
Looking by far the more comfortable team, aren't they? Let's be honest. A good last call. Angel Boy's low. Good connections with the robotic rats, no doubt there from Lana on that right side of Tamaru, who's now 375 HP. It's an opportunity, but there's no one around there to pick up the ball for Heretics.
Rat's going to chase him down. That's a big reason why Ash is so good into somebody like Hank. It's not perfect. Hank's a tough brawler right now, but at least it's something. Zara giving them life on this top left-hand end. Ooh, a takedown, though. Now Angel Boy with the super available. Gets the mind control onto Lana. Waltzes on in. Totem take 2.
And that's why I love the Meeple, the Willow. It's just a real difference maker. And Reply Totem are looking very, very solid. To me, there's so little to say about what Heretics are bringing so far. There's no chemistry. They're being outdrafted. There's just not really much in their tank, it seems, so far. And there's only one set potentially left before they're swept, so they really do need to knuckle down now. This is not the time to, to dwindle.
Hasn't been great. Just gotta call it how you see it, right? I mean, Reply Totem have been comfortable, real breezy, and just walking goals in, grabbing gems. The mechanics look great. No complaints about the draft. I didn't think that draft out of Team Heretics was really that bad. I mean, on paper, like I said, Ash into Hank works out, but I just feel like there's so many good things going for Reply Totem as far as the game mode's concerned. Meeple as a mid, arguably the best that you could get on that map. And the second they get a hypercharge down, Hank can walk up the middle. Willow can get free mind controls. It's just such a beneficial brawler right now. His hypercharge is really what makes him.
Yeah, I think a lot of this for me is draft related. Before they even kind of get started, you've got to have yourselves the best head start possible. And just great mind controls all throughout that match from Angel Boy. There was another one. Reply Totem are just high in spirits. Their gameplay is to match. And this match could be over in the next set unless Team Heretics pull up their boots. Right season is where we're going next. A very tough map, Bounty, a very tough mode. To get that balance, and this map is very, very tough to be able to know how heavily to push that spawn.
You know that Angel Boy is fully capable of showing emotions, and the fact that for now he's still composed, still calm. Job's not done till the job's done. He's not going to take his foot off the gas pedal, though. Thoroughly impressed with him and his resume coming into this. The fact they are able to hold strong at Team Electros, at LCQ. They've been in these spots before. They've dominated teams, but they've also been down. And I feel like that's given them a well-rounded experience. I think that's really important as a player.
Well, the crowd cheering on Reply Totem. Not too much to say for Team Heretics, but they've got to find it within themselves regardless to give themselves the best possible chance of staying alive and getting out of these group stages. Bounty for dry season up next. Again, another Meeple heavy map. I kind of want to see that brawler potentially kind of banned out even. It's just so devastating. Being able to shoot through the walls, that's your best bet in terms of that defense. So it's got to be up there for sure. The Mina, the Grey, as well as the Byron banned out by Heretics. The Jean, the Mina, and the Kazi.
King of the nerds!
Meeple off the rip, there you go. Powerful brawler. Can't fault Team Heretics for taking this. So if Meeple's on the other end, I'm curious if the Reply Totem side beef up. Ollie, one of the common culprits on this map. Squeak shows up quite a bit, as well as kind of that extra damage, long distance, area control. So I feel like there's a few different builds they could go with here.
They do like a lot of Jae-Young here, but it's got such a low win rate for them, so I just kind of wonder whether that's on their minds. Max, it feels to me, could be a really great option. I mean, the mobility and the aggression of which that brawler brings allows for those spawn turnarounds on a map like this, and Ollie's another one that'd be a prime candidate to combine with it too. This is going to be the Jae-Young, but again, my concern is the low win rate.
versus Ollie a lot of the times too. You're going to see somebody like Bell. I think that could be a long-range option that goes into them. The damage amplifier helps with Ollie. And now that you have heals on the ground and Jaeyoung, who typically is going to want to stand closer rather than far away from his teammates, I think the Bell bounce shot could really help you out here. So I'm curious if that's something that Team Heretics considers. They're also going to need some kind of aggro or at least a tank. They need some health points, right? We've only got Meeple so far, but you have to find somebody that benefits from Mansion of Meeple or those stuns.
Could be a Carl here potentially, even because Lenar would be a fantastic player to get on that brawler. Bell is definitely going to cause a problem in maps like this where it's very common for brawlers to cluster. So I don't mind that pick. It's got a bit of a tough line of sight. Some of the map needs to be maybe even broken up to be able to really get the most out of that brawler, but it's not a bad shout at all. Let's see whether Squeak maybe even shows up here. It's definitely a brawler which has come forwards a little bit in bounty, so looking out for that one too. Let's see what Heretics are. I think it's going to be the Carl. I love that for Heretics. They've got to get more aggressive with their playstyle.
Two casters can put together one draft. Nicely done, friend. Now on the other end, we've got a blue star taken care of. We got Meeple, who's a great control brawler in this game. And I do like the Bell matchup specifically into the Ollie. It's been the most easy way to deal with it in scrims. A super high win rate when it comes to that. Ollie can really struggle. Jaeyoung, like you mentioned, hasn't always been successful in these practices. I think it's a real give and take. So I really do like that as a response. It gives him a little long range edge. Blue star is a must on this map as well. So Carl is certainly going to be able to deliver for that. Totem now with the 6th pick. Looks like Angelo is flashing on the screen. I hear his voice in the background. One of the best sharpshooters in the game.
It's a really good brawler. It's definitely one that can struggle against some of the aggressiveness of which the Carl brings on the side of Heretics. So for Reply Totem, being cautious and having the right gadgets to hand, of course, to be able to evade successfully, going to be quite important here. I kind of favor the Team Heretics draft slightly, but the way they're playing, I'm not overly convinced. That's my reservation here. But I think they've given themselves a very good chance of making it work.
Team Heretics, now is the time to wake up. Down 2-0 against the number 7 seed from EMEA, and they're already up the middle of the map. Maori has grabbed that blue star. Now they can play on the defensive. That's part of what you'll see at a professional level of Brawl Stars on a mode like Bounty. They're not necessarily running and gunning it all the time. If you grab that blue star, it's defensive. If you have the lead, don't force mistakes. Force the other team to come to you.
Looking at that slow pickaxe from Lennon, I think it's probably a protective pirouette that he's running here as well, so that should provide him a nice shield going into the spawn. But he's got to earn it first, of course. Angel Boy able to escape away there with that additional speed along the wall too, so definitely Reply Totem are giving Lennon a hard time on those lane sides.
A couple marquee moments to watch out for at home. Wait for those gadget timings, and now Zar's gonna pop that super. Angel Boy in trouble, no way to protect himself, but barely survives. Maori keeps him up. Lanad, though, he's gonna put his foot to the gas pedal, diving right on in, tailspins through, but he's gonna be in trouble, low HP. They have to line up these shots. Look at the dodges, though. Beautiful jukes coming out. Totem will hold their lead.
Yeah, there is the protected pirouette, and of course, going into Jaeyoung with the Weekend Warrior gadget, that's a very, very good answer to it. So Maori is gonna be quite a threat for Lenan in that regard. Angel Boy, of course, has the hypnosis to hand. Got to find the right timings to really gain the maximum value, though. Zar's got to heal up now before pushing forwards, and now with the hypercharge, this could be a good time to turn the tides here for Team Heretics.
They have to break into this fortress of defense for Reply Totem. Angel Boy has not done a thing. He's just hovering behind this wall. This is the hypercharge they need, though. Now waltzing on in. Angel Boy weak, doing his best to dodge and escaping. It's a bounce shot off, but Angel Boy is separated. Somehow, some way, Team Heretics weren't able to grab the lead.
It took so long to secure that one kill, but Maori on the top left-hand side is weak. Fernanda's got to go in, and Orson come out as well. He gets it as well. His teammates are all there for him. 9 stars. That shot will he fall down for it? He should still be all right in terms of the stars if he does. Nonetheless, it is still going to be the first sign of life for Team Heretics to get a game.
Possibly a mistake there out of Reply Totem to walk forward and leave Jaeyoung behind. He can't defend for himself very easily. Not a lot of health points on that brawler. He can do damage with the gadget, but if left alone with 4 and a blue star on his noggin, that's just going to be an easy target for Carl to dive on in. This is what we need to see out of Team Heretics. Plenty of work left to be done, though. Reply Totem still have a massive lead in terms of set count.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned because these takedowns should be much, much swifter by Team Heretics. I feel like that's going to be punished eventually, and Angel Boy was evading so well. The slow pickaxe for Lenan is going to be great to be able to survive, but it's definitely hard to be able to earn that super much more so, much easier rather with the other star power. So Maru, on the top right-hand side, getting tapped up by Chaos now. A nice flying hook. Oh, beautiful from Lenan. Getting into that position and ensuring the takedown.
One of his iconic brawlers, Lenan, one of the best aggro players you will see, put his thumbs to this game. They're feeling more comfortable alongside it. So this is the first time we're going to see a change of pace here. It's going to be Reply Totem who have to be on the offense. Like I mentioned, Jaeyoung a support brawler. Angelo not necessarily going to want to be up in the faces of the enemies. They have to set Angel Boy up here. Otherwise, it's just going to be a takedown. Now they have a super going down as well. Team Heretics playing this defense perfectly.
This is looking better, but as we know, Bounty can change so quick. A nest egg pop there from Maori, just able to evade the onslaught to follow. And now Angel Boy pushing his way forwards, gonna wait for his team to get the right amount of HP before making this dive for sure. Missed gadget from Maru, returned by a nice connection from Zar, but no super to follow up. He's got the hypercharge though now as well, and that can help very much on this defense.
Plenty of nest eggs going down too, so the entrances are going to be blocked. They triggered the first one on the right, hypercharge down for Maru in trouble, barely surviving. As along with the speed, will be assisted, fires that shot, knocks the arrow. No connection though, Team Heretics in the driver's seat.
A great hypercharge from Zar and some massive connections, almost even a takedown. Nice there from Chaos to mark up with the hypercharge onto Maori. There's still time for a turnaround, but with that swift one onto Angel Boy, left. Lanan's gonna be able to go in, but goes down as well. 2 stars is gonna be there. The blue star is still with Reply Totem, but have they got the push in sync and ready? Nest egg pop and Angel Boy will fall just about safe and sound for Heretics. They get the set.
Some signs of life showing from EMEA's number 3. I like that draft overall. We kind of talked about it beforehand, but slight favor towards them. I really like that Bell matchup into Ollie in particular, especially with Jaeyoung and his healing and how he wants to stick next to your teammates to get benefits off the bounce shot. On top of that, Lanan the Carl is a comfort pick. They have a blue star. It was good for the other side. Jaeyoung, of course, can get you that too. Angelo, a great long-distance brawler, but you can just see it on the kill count. This wasn't just a bounty diff. This was a skill diff.
Yeah, I feel like as well, teams, like you say, going with their comfort picks. We saw it with Foot Esports a little bit earlier, and we saw it with SK bringing out the Shelly. You know, it's really going to be that time for me to see teams really focusing with that. I think that that's your ability to kind of trick the scrim data, to have something in your back pocket you know you don't need to practice, that you can just bring out at any moment. And Carl's definitely got to a much better place in terms of the meta, so you know, for Lanan historically as well, allowing him to get the brawlers to shine is where he's going to be best for a team. So for Heretics, I suggest that they kind of keep that in mind. Try to get Lanan on those, you know, real difference maker brawlers to be able to make plays like that.
I feel like they played Lanan as the aggressive brawler, but they were really playing off Zar. Every time he dropped a mansion of meatball and had a super combo, it led to a kill pretty much every time, especially in that game number 2. You know, slow start there for them in the first one, but once they get up and running, it's really hard to make a comeback. This isn't an aggressive team on the other end. Jaeyoung can get you some speed to get you there faster, but outside of Ollie, not a lot of health points to go around. So I think just a good build coming out of Team Heretics.
And IKS has always been the glue. On whatever team that he's on, he is the glue, in my opinion. And those nest eggs were really instrumental in defending in those final moments. I mean, Reply Totem had plenty of time for a push, a lot of utility for that push. But those nest eggs stopped them in their tracks just to ensure it. And now a real opportunity of being able to maybe even take this to a 5th and final set. They get this next one right.
Don't get my hopes up, Park. We've already gotten one set 5 banger today. I need more. I'm craving it. I know Brawl Nation is right there with me. Hot potato is where we head next, though. Set number 4 of this match on the way. As far as picks are concerned, if he escapes the ban stage, it's Otis and then everybody else. Chuck and Kaze, a couple of offensive measures that I'm expecting to see from these teams. There's still plenty of assassins left to go, though. Lily, Melody on the rise. So I'm curious to see how these two teams approach this unique map.
Yeah, Mina 2 not banned out here could be an option. But didn't quite catch the bans. The roughs came through so quick. Chuck is banned, that's what I'm looking for as well. So good to see in that regard. Ruffs is a great brawler pick, I've got to be honest. I really do like that for them. Kaze open here, you've got to have that. I mean, it's just such a great brawler to cycle when you haven't got Chuck to be able to play with. Grab a Kaze, put those fan storms onto the safe and just hold the control really for me. Lumi's a possibility, I feel. It's not my favorite brawler, I mean it is, but maybe not in the current meta. The Kaze, yeah, it's got to be.
We're on the same wavelength. I think in terms of bans as well, when I'm looking at this, 2 of the brawlers that have been really solid into Kaze, at least in win percentage, Barry in the ban stage, not necessarily as a head-to-head, but just for the compositions that he's bringing to the table, typically going to be paired with those higher HP brawlers, higher HP, tougher for Kaze to take down. And on top of that, Shade can get through the walls, does a lot of offensive damage, just like Kaze does on that high save, but has a better head-to-head matchup. So it's going to be Kaze paired with this Amber. This is more of a control option with a flash of damage onto that that safe. I think this is more for their defensive build than anything, though.
Yeah, you called it, Otis. A great call at that. It's, yeah, I was going to say about Melody. You know, when Chuck is available, that's the brawler that I look to, but when it's banned out on the side of Chuck, Melody's still good. And that's very dangerous. I think the Team Heretics have got to be very cautious now in that regard. So, I mean, you know, just go with the aggression ideas, support the Kaze. The Amber there going to be able to burn the bush. There's nowhere to hide for Reply Totem, but you know, Reply Totem are looking with that Melody to make this a very swift affair. So you've got to have a solid defense, and they're going for the Kit.
Interesting. Yeah, Kit has shown up here quite a bit, but that's not a high safe damage kind of measure, right? I feel like that's more for the pairing or as a matchup into these specific brawlers. Interesting choice here, I would say, from Team Heretics. Reply Totem playing much more of what I would call the standard, the regular of what we see in this meta. But they finally come to life a little bit, and they need more. If they want any chance of surviving this opener, they need to take another set. Reply Totem with a 2-1 lead against EMEA's number 3.
Still there's some Heretics fans in the crowd, of course. They're going to start getting loud, because this is the time where it's really going to be make or break for them. A bit of a failed push in. Lenan's still staying alive. Zar going to be holding himself back here. But again, it's about cycling this Kaze, going in, getting some damage, getting something to bring back that the Fanstorm, to be able to connect the safe is what it's about. So it's okay, but they've got to be able to keep pushing forward. That's a nice defense, though.
Chaos needs to be a pop-off brawler here. Has to be getting these frags so we can set up his teammates to get high safe damage. That's a great start. Now they're going to release the super from Kaze. Lana diving in. Plenty of critical hits going down on the high safe. They're trying to penetrate this opening level of the safe. Remember, it gets staggered. It's in 25% increments, so it's a big deal once you cross that 75% threshold.
Yeah, that's a good connection there from Chaos. They were leaving the roughs a little bit too long, but it has opened this right-hand side there for Angel Boy and Maori to get some damage done. That's 2 cracks of the Team Heretics safe. They've got to make up for a lot of lost time there. There's a nice connection yet again from Chaos, allowing Zar to get the pickup. That's good stuff. That's good teamwork, but they are got to start playing the objective better here.
Chaos is playing well. He's getting kills. It's not leading to damage. You have to play this objective. They have to take advantage, find enough time to move forward. This is going to progress Zar up, but Angel Boy is still going to survive. Chaos being traded. Hypercharge down the middle of the map. Angel Boy circling around this high safe like a vulture, and they're already sub 25.
And that was the perfect time. Team Heretics were down. Angel Boy knew it and came in and got so much done. And that last final stage is cracked. For Totem now, this is just a dive push of which Team Heretics have got to defend. They go immediately onto the aggressive. It's a tough ask.
Totem have put so much pressure down. Now 2 high safes up. Hypercharge, right-hand side. Assist coming in on the left. Chaos now, invisible. Trying to lurk and get a surprise attack here. Just going to be sitting in this grass. Lana right there beside him. They're going to leave a lot of responsibility to Zar, who has to be perfect on defense. Sandbags going down for protection. Lana falls. This looks like a Totem takeaway if they don't act fast.
Yeah, time is ticking now. 20 seconds, and there's so much work to be done for Team Heretics. Reply Totem are in a great position now, pushing forwards, which is going to make it even harder because they just need this dive. Angel Boy going to be popping there, the hypercharge. He can just buy his time down. It's going to be surely Reply Totem that are going to be able to come out on top in this regard. The time is against the safes. That is going to be a match point now for Reply Totem. Maximum pressure on Team Heretics.
The fellas in green looking strong to start out day number 1. They survived LCQ and are now taking down fellow rivals. A personal one at that. Trage played alongside these fellas just a few months ago. Chaos, previously with this roster, he was the 3rd that Angel Boy now is, and it's Angel Boy's world right now. We're just living in it.
Chaos creeping forwards now as well, gets some taps, but Maru comes out on top here. Continues the advance on that left-hand side, earns himself a supply drop at that, so a very good start despite no safe damage. Some utility there down for Reply Totem. It's actually going to be Team Heretics that make the first little scrape onto the safe. 2%, but it's the positioning of the back of that which is important.
Lana was running on fumes, somehow survives. Now left side, flanking up the middle of the map. Chaos trying to power up his teammate Zar. It's a takedown, but gets the super off. So they get through this first high save. Angel Boy on the other end, though, plenty capable of doing enough damage to switch.
And he's been playing so well again today. Some swipes into the wall there, like as well from Lenan, so he's got to be able to sharpen that up. Maori surviving on 8 HP, and Zar can't get the connection either. So again, Reply Totem valuing their lives, but keeping that aggression of Angel Boy cycling forwards. Chaos though comes to Lenan. If he can get onto the safe now as well, it's going to be fantastic, and maybe a stage crack. It is.
Kit splashing down on this heist stage. Still hope yet for the Team Heretic side. Now a few 3,200s reigning in Amber Falls, though. This could be a turnaround here for Reply Totem. They have to hold possession and crack for another heist stage. The issue, the timer. Only a minute left.
Yeah, they would like to have got it down below 25%, but it's going to sit at 30 for Heretics, and they've still got to play some defense. Cardboard box for Chaos, a hypercharge for Lenan. He's found a break. He can go for it now, but they can't leave Angelboy 2 on his own. They've got to crack this safe quick. They've done that, but Angelboy's going to do the same. It's going to be a base race.
They've committed. Team Heretics, top left-hand side. Super goes down, 7,000 HP left. EMEA's number 3, holding on for one more. It's going to be a second match point.
It's even going to be Reply Totem ending this here. Well, we're going to go to a 5th and final set. It's a very close match. Team Heretics are finding their flow, but it's taken some time. Can they do it again? Can we go the distance for a second time today?
Two different games right there. Team Heretics came to play in the second. They have to get pressure early. This is an offensive roster. If you're going to play Kit, sure, it's defensive. It's nice on matchups alone. You have to empower your teammates. That's not the start they're looking for. This should be a takedown on the left-hand side. Angelboy is the man that you have to get through. Otis can do damage. Sure, Ruffs can do damage. It's nothing compared to what a Melody can do.
Good there from Zar. He's low HP, and Angelboy can dash in if he wishes. But that should be Lenan, who finds the safe yet again. Putting some more damage. Maori not going to be taken care of until Chaos gets the final word there. But Maru through the mid. Angelboy on the right. Reply Totem are getting themselves set up.
For such an aggressive brawler, Angelboy has been patient, waiting for the time where either Team Heretics defense slips up or he has enough of a matchup to go in. Oh, and a nice little juke there. Chaos gains space, but no kill. Maru with sandbags on the left-hand side, establishing himself, trying to make this his home turf. Mari, though, a great hypercharge. Lena actually going to fall. It's a trade up the middle of the map. Chaos rushing to the left-hand side. They need to get to the 75% marker. That's a great get from Chaos.
Yeah, it really was crucial, but the Rust is still in play. Maru needs to be dealt with. Those sandbags are just there, and he's just able to use them as cover every single time. Lenar now trying to get this safe below 50%. If he can, it'd be massive. That's the big news. It's actually going to be Zal that gets it done, but again, Maru is still there with Angelboy. That safe is getting shredded. They've got to defend on the side of Team Heretics. That safe is on its final legs. The final tap is there. It's going to be Reply Totem that get the dub.
The gruesome twosome may have finally found their third. EMEA's number 7 have sent Heretics to fight for their final life on match number 1. Who would have thought LCQ, a team from there, could possibly make fireworks happen already today? And not just that, they're the second team to do so.
It was just a little bit too late for Heretics. They found their flow, but their damage was already done. And for Reply Totem, that is the best start possible. Fantastic drafts, fantastic teamwork, and no signs of nerves. Everything you want to see in a World Finals team.
Team Heretics found it a little bit in the second half, right? We saw that third set, very strong stuff, solid draft, but Reply Totem just consistent throughout all of that. I really thought Team Heretics were going to have an edge. The same region, similar teammates, very personal, so I was kind of thinking, hey, Team Heretics have looked good. What's going to stop them from now? Instead, though, it's Reply Totem taking it.
And now, looking at the bracket in that group C, we already know Totem moves on into the semis of that group. We're going to see them again tomorrow. Now, first up, we have another banger for you. It's Loud versus Reject, also from Group C. This was another very close match here. We didn't go all the way, but it sure looked like it. We already had a reverse sweep today. Now, seed 3 versus 7. Usually, seed 3 comes out on top, but Totem said no to that. And they repeated what they already did last year. Again, Worlds 2024, they came in 4th, or yeah, shared 3rd and 4th. So they're looking always super strong when they play on stage. You could say the same about Louds. They're going to be up next versus Reject, the Titans that have played in so many World Finals versus a fairly young team. Who's going to take it?
Wait for me.
Insane take. Bro, you are a fucking beast. You're a fucking beast. Let's go. Bro. Come on. Stop it. Come on. Insane Willow, bro. No, we got it.
ラウドには絶対勝てる自信があるんで、ストレートでボコボコにします。
Eu acho que a Reject vai ser um oponente bem difícil aí, obviamente a gente sabe que são rivais lá da Zeta na Ásia, a Zeta é um time muito bom, então a gente vai bem preparado para esse jogo, que vai ser um jogo duro.
Welcome back to the Brawl Stars World Finals 2025. 3 matches already down, a couple of them also played in the back, and now we're heading into one that I was really looking forward to, one that I really didn't know how to vote on, honestly. I hope your votes are looking as bright as RX2 today.
Look at yourself. You're looking. I felt like you had to have someone to join the sequence, you know?
That's why you're in the middle, Kenny. You're still important. We love you.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
Very sweet of you to say for somebody who's predicted insanely poorly. I mean, just looking at this bracket, I already missed one. Totem took a 3-1 win over Team Heritage just moments ago.
You gotta believe in the Roman Empire. In the end, they take it here 3-1. Totem moves on. And now we're gonna see Team Heretics later today again. Because after today, 4 teams will already have to leave us. Is it gonna be Reject or Loud that follow that same future?
This is going to be a really, really tough one to predict, I feel. But for Reject, certainly a team which are fully capable. Melty and Shu with Rival Esports, the 2024 World Finals, may top 8. But their then teammate Milk Rio, who we've seen just go the distance with Humble and Crazy Raccoon and come out on top. So Batman has some big boots to fill, but I've been super impressed with him this year in that respect.
Loud's going to be a tough foe as well. I know they want revenge from Brawl Cup. It wasn't their best work. They felt like they could do better. I think South America as a whole has that sentiment.
They did do fairly well on day 1, but after that it didn't look too bright for them at Brawl Cup. But yes, it's such a cool contrast between those 2 teams. I want to highlight that a little further here. On the side of Loud, we have 3 players that have been playing at the World Finals since 2020. Not always in the same roster, as South America likes to switch around. It's always the 6 same players, but in different rosters. And then on the other side, we have Reject, where Batman, for him, it's his very first time ever playing in the World Finals. And for Melty and Shrew, it's only the 2nd time.
That was my reservation, really, was just like, is Batman going to come out on stage and really impress and surprise? It is a very, very tough position to find yourself in. But with so many eyes watching, the lights, the glitz, the glam, it can be a tough thing for even the best of the best to be able to battle against. For Adinio and for Firecrow, a duo for Lau, which have gone back the test of time. I mean, they've been together since 2021, with the exception of 2023, so it's a tough thing to face.
Yeah, I think when you see Firecrow with as many World Finals as the entire opposition, it really goes to show that these guys have been around for a long time. I will add, too, this has been a group that has lost to the world champions several times now. This could be their year.
I'm super excited for that one. We see only Trev actually voted for Reject. Lock in your votes as well on event.brawlstars.com, and you can hear the crowd roar. We gotta bring in the squads now.
This next match will cement our upper and lower bracket, and our world final story will start to take shape. This is your chance to guarantee a spot in day 2. DreamHack, make some noise for Reject and Loud! Reject have Sue, Melty, and Batman, and Loud have Kyodon, Edinio, and Firecrow!
Looking very confident here, playing with the crowd as well. Reject know what they have, and they have a lot of supportive and yeah, just some good fans that are also coming out here all the way to Stockholm. They like to play some more control-based comp, which is super surprising. Usually East Asia is gonna go for those super aggressive comps. They're our mechanical wizards, but they contrast that a little bit, Kenny.
Definitely. I feel like they're pretty unique when it comes to the East Asian meta. They're kind of all over the place, whether they go aggressive or those control-oriented brawlers. And I feel like right now the control brawlers are a little more justified, right? I feel like for a lot of the year, hypercharges have been such a powerful asset that you can't ignore them. You have to go for those beefy brawlers, the Hanks of the world, and just run and gun with those hypercharges. So I think the fact that we got a little change of pace could benefit Reject.
It's a tough one for me to predict, but what I will say is that for South America, they've struggled through historically to make even a dent at the World Finals. I mean, they've been grouped every year since 2022, but you got to look at it this way. You know, for Firecrew and Adino, they were together in 2021, where they made the biggest of statements. They got South America to top 4. That's the best result that they've ever had at LAN. And I feel like despite over the years struggling to really make it out of those group stages of World Finals, it's got to change at some point. And South America has really elevated me this year. Looking at Loud at Brawl Cup, fantastic results there. Castor Brawl almost making it to the World Finals themselves here against Crazy Raccoon. The region is on the rise.
And this region is one that had a couple of upsets this year as well. Nobody really expected Reject to be second seed in the end. Crazy Raccoon was meant to stand at the top, but they didn't look as strong this year. Reject, as a fairly new team, still stood strong. And I'm super excited, especially for Betterman. As mentioned, this is going to be his first World Finals, and it's against a team that has a couple of players in there that have been playing for 6 or 5 World Finals already.
It's a lot of World Finals. They've been to a ton. But honestly, to add on to what you said, Ark, I feel like SA are under a lot of pressure internally, right? They want to prove themselves. I think there's several reasons that way. NA, my home region, is certainly like that. SA, though, not only have they not made a quarterfinal since 2021, they haven't won a match on the world stage since 2021. If Loud beat Reject here, that's the first time you'll see a South American squad win on a world final stage. That's unbelievable.
It's a ton of pressure. I feel like Reject have had, again, a really good season, honestly. Overshadowed slightly by Zeta. I think many don't even really hear the name said much as a real contender in this competition. And it was a bit unfortunate to actually face into Zeta 4 times, you know, only managing to beat them once in the monthly final. But that was in February as well, you know, that was at the very beginning of the year. And then they suffered 2 sweeps and 1 reverse sweep after that. So they really did have a bit of an unfortunate run, but I think they are a real threat in this competition regardless.
And we already talked about them. Both the fans from Brazil and also Japan traveled all the way to Stockholm, so we want to give them the spotlight.
Another perk of being in and amongst the action right here at DreamHack Stockholm is that not only do you get to watch your favorite players, your favorite teams on the main stage, but you get to possibly meet them as well. We have a meet and greet going on right behind me with Crazy Raccoon, and as you can see on the schedule behind me, we'll have Revenant X-Spark coming down, Tribe Gaming as well. It's such a phenomenal experience for all these people to get to meet their favorite players. Come with me and follow, because I've got a very special guest waiting in the wings. I've got Jake here. Jake's traveled from Poland, am I right?
From Krakow, actually.
From Krakow. You've got a Humble jersey on right now, and you're currently queuing for the Crazy Raccoon meet and greet. What's happened? Tell me.
It was a good game, actually. They deserve it. Deserve the win.
It was an incredible match. What a great reverse sweep. But Humble, they could come back and win it all.
They will. Of course they will.
Of course they will. You heard it here from Jake. Thank you so much for joining me in this little interview. We'll walk around a little bit, because this honestly is such an amazing experience for a lot of the players, maybe that haven't seen the esport yet, or maybe that haven't seen a huge amount of Brawl Stars esports live. It's in such a great location at DreamHack Stockholm, and we can't wait to see how the action unfolds.
Some of the fans that have traveled here to Stockholm are here for the very first time, and some of the players on stage have never played a World Finals before. So maybe in the future, if you just came here for the very first time, you're going to be on that stage as well. It's truly possible, and we would of course look forward to cast your games in the future. Now, Reject versus Loud, I had the pleasure to sit down with Loud yesterday to have a little chat with them. And we talked a lot about LCQ as well. They have been present, of course. It's their home region. They did not play. They qualified as first seed of their region. And I asked them if they saw something maybe from the other 2 SA teams that were playing at LCQ that they want to do better. Because in the end, no SA team came through at LCQ.
Yeah, especially it being a home region as well. I mean, that's got to be gutting, right? From Loud, you know, there's rivalries with your fellow regional teams, but you also want your region to be the best. I mean, it's certainly been EMEA for the past couple of years, back-to-back #1 seeds from that region, winning the World Championship. It used to be East Asia, SA, North America, and even a team like Revenant X-Mark from a smaller region like SEA. They're still waiting for their moment.
Live textiles right there, doesn't it? Love to see it. Dedication. But you know, you raise a really good point. And being at the World Finals, especially being able to speak to players is such a massive thing to do. And that's what kind of changed some of my predictions along the way. When you ask a player, you know, have you done enough? And they say, I'm not sure. It kind of makes you go a bit more on the back foot. And that's what Firecrest did to me, by the way. But this is one of those moments, a 50-50 for me. But we're looking at the moment as Zeta Division versus STMN. And, you know, that's actually quite a surprising result, I'll be honest, at least in my opinion.
It's a 1-1. Many people think Zeta Division is going to clean sweep them, but Stamina still have it in them. They're taking this stage opportunity to show what they truly can do. And of course, you can always check in with those other matches also on Reddy's stream. He's covering them. Zeta Division now, yeah, not looking as strong as we might have expected, but everything's still open. It's only a 1-1, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, even a team like Stamina is certainly capable of taking a set. They're here for a reason. Obviously, the way they got here was a little bit questionable, but nonetheless, it's still a team that has Worlds experience. Tacos is a great player. They're one of the lower seeded teams. They're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, dark horse of the entire event. Zeta Division, of course, having Chatampa, but same can be said for Levi and Sigduku. They might just be wiping off the rust a little bit on the main stage.
It's the only 1-1. I'll be honest, I didn't put STMN down to gain a set against Zeta.
Oh, we bet.
Probably would as well. Let's see in these final moments too whether they can get something more to say, but it's going to be quite tough. They haven't been able to get a kill this time round, and I think there's no time now to do so either. But Zeta for me is real contender. And you know, I feel like what saying could have been a group of death. Maybe STMN.
Oh yeah, classic. Yeah, we did it.
Also, and they have been doing that. I mean, that's really quite impressive. Struggling in that match.
Loud against Reject.
Overwhelmingly happy for them, but they got to tie it up.
It looked to me like Zeta had the last pick in that matchup. Really like to come there with the Cordelios. Probably was the last pick, I would assume, just to jump in and get some more points at the end of the match. We have a GG box here. We have a lot of blink.
Please.
Does he get
no
brain? Nothing. Unfortunate. Maybe the next one is better.
We're Seven. We're going in.
Oh, we're going
more
hard.
To come.
Please.
On. 7. You hate to see it.
So number 8, is that what we need, I guess, to get
we need more than 7
spray or anything like that? All right. Hoping the best for you, brother. That's good effort. Oh,
Black Friday deals, by the way. I mean, if you're looking to do it, just go straight to the Supercell store because you're going to get a lot of value there as well.
And we still have 30 tickets, of course. I think that event ends in 3 days or so. You can still play your GG matches to unlock her a little bit earlier. We won't see her this weekend, but we have Siggy, one of the newest bowlers. He didn't have many showings today yet, Kenny.
Yeah, not a ton yet. I'm curious to see how he shows up. He's a notable one for sure. He will show up. I'm just curious of how frequently it is. Have teams figured him out? Do they find him powerful enough after his buffs to really be deemed worthy of a frequent pick? There's so many good throwers right now, especially Juju, Willow if it's Brawl Ball. It doesn't necessarily come to mind as that first thrower off the board on a lot of these maps. So I'm curious where teams will prioritize.
Yeah, it's a really circumstantial brawler, isn't it? And in terms of what stage of the draft to pick it, I can see it working really well in places like Dueling Beetles, but it really is about where, at what stage in the draft to be able to get your hands on it. I like it for that reason because the super is so devastating. So to find it having quite a nice place where it's quite balanced, I'm quite pleased with that brawler. It's going to be a very hard one to keep that way.
He is banned out here in this match, Zeta Division versus Stamina. Again, I think that Zeta Division had the last pick here, so I'm even more surprised to see a Mortis on this STMN. And it doesn't seem to work out just as intended because Chatampo on that Cordelius is taking him into Shadow Realm time and time again.
Yeah, that's a nasty matchup. I think you might be right with Zeta Division having that last pick. I'm imagining it's the core, very infrequent pick. Taco's trying to take a little dash at it though. Pain low though.
Ooh, Pain, what are you doing?
Come back from Zeta should be sitting comfortably here. So that's going to be a 2-1 lead now in sets. Really well played. I mean, like you said, I'll say it, I'm guilty of it. I thought this was going to be a 3-0 as well. More out of respect for Zeta Division than anything. I think Zeta are a very powerful team. I think they're a team that their mechanics are for themselves. But if they can get the drafts down as well, they're dangerous.
Say the thing, Kenny. Say the thing.
No,
say the thing, Kenny. Come on, I'm the boomer here. Say the thing.
Oh my god. Sunny's got it if she wants it. It's all her. It's all her.
No.
Got any numbers you're thinking of right now? Any numbers you want to speak of?
I'm on a higher level.
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Archie's childish.
I'm
sorry, Chad.
We already established the important number in Brawl Stars, especially when it comes down to GG boxes, is 8.
8. 8's
Neither
Not 6,
Neither
not
one of the
7,
others.
but 8 is the right number.
True.
We're now finally heading into our fourth match of the day here. It's Reject versus Loud, and most people at home have also voted Reject, just like the casting desk. I would actually love to talk to Trev. He was the only one of us who said Reject, and I can't blame him. It was a 50 for me as well.
Definitely not enough
No,
justification on
I
our
think
end.
that's going to go
I do feel
for
like Reject deserves some more representation.
Reject.
Certainly a good squad, but ultimately I'm going to rely on the experience of Loud. I think they're a better team than people anticipate. I don't think their name's been said enough, and as we hop into open business, it's going to be Reject with that first overall pick. So Pam out of the way. I think some people at home might be surprised to see this be a ban, but at a professional level, trust me, Pam is so deadly. It's super annoying to deal with, and especially on this map with all the walls, the healing station is so good for control.
Solid first pick for me, no problems with that. I'd like to see a Juju actually. It's always been a very South American brawler pick. It's going to be one that would work out pretty well here for me. But certainly, I think the Cordy list not being banned here, keeping that in the back pocket could be a good shout for them also. But I think if they keep the walls up, then it's going to have a very, very good time on this particular map. And Draco as well, not banned out. Definitely dropped a little bit off for me, but it's still very much a scary one. Stu here as well, South American, and in my
Nah,
opinion,
that's
the best
crazy.
in the world is Kaya Dog. So I'd love to see that brawler come through. First pick Juju, yeah, it's South America all over.
You can't resist Juju has been very often picked up by this region, let's just put it that way. Reject here, they have the first pick, so many of the best first picked up banned out by Loud, the Meeple, Mina, and Finks all very, very good on the map like this one, but I love the Ruff's first pick because they can decide now if they want to break open the map, want to bring in some tanks or throwers themselves and not break it open. And yeah, even against the Juju, now they can just break it up. They can play two long-range brawlers, and they're going to do fairly well against the Charlie.
Open business,
I'm curious how they're going to combat this, because I think Larry and Lori might very much be in the equation for Reject.
Yeah, Barry!
Larry
Let's go.
way to kind of go against Juju while also giving yourself a way to deal with tanks. The
But
shot plus an extra spawner in the field.
it's interesting you don't see the twins that often. Did I miss something?
Composition out of Reject.
I'm guessing they're not going to break open the maps, right?
No, I pray not for their sake. I mean, they got the shade going down now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great brawler to have at this stage in the draft, isn't it? It's going to be one of those times where Loud are going to make a real choice as to how they approach it. Shade is very much a regional selection by Reject also, where they just play it so well for me. So do they go specifically to target the Shade? Do you do that? And I think you got to have something ranged to Ziggy.
And Ziggy.
To have as an answer. It's going to definitely deter Shade from being hiding behind the walls for sure.
Just as we talked about Ziggy, the new brawler is going to come in here and makes a lot of sense. I feel like Reject really wanted this Shade, banning out the Hank, pointed towards it, and they need another brawler who can shoot through walls or on top of walls, or I don't know how you would call thunder in a wall. But yeah, Ziggy's definitely a good pick, Kenny.
How about a perfect storm? Here we go, folks. Reject versus Loud. Number 2 from East Asia versus the Kings of South America. Both teams on a road to redemption here in 2025.
Wow, it's a good start by Reject, getting a little tippy-toe onto the zone with his help of the berry kills. That ice cream going to be quite instrumental at keeping them afloat here, but Dina goes straight for it, and that's the right play here for Loud. He might be able to overthrow now.
Early start here for Loud, at least in terms of area control. The double thrower composition, did not expect that. Firecrow's certainly a control kind of brawler with the way his shot operates, and if you can send a super up the middle of the map, it can be deadly. Have to watch out for those thunderstorms that can rain down on you. Melty, of course, not going to do well from the distance here. Shade needs up close and personal. He is somebody that doesn't care about the space. He wants to be up in your face.
Yeah.
Loud approaching now, 50%. Reject have got to go a bit more onto the aggressive. Tidal Globe, but staying alive, most importantly, in that left-hand side now is broken. Is it a bit late in the game? That's my question. Oh, a lovely hypercharge there from Kydog as well. Just to be able to keep things going. Melt's going to come out slow too as well. That's massive for Loud.
Wow, and they're even willing to open up this map as well. Bataman playing the berry is not going to do well into his enemy throwers, at least on a one-on-one situation. Bataman taking his time, though. Now needs to regroup with the others, but a Ziggy super should sit
That's
back. They climb
an interesting Charlie skin.
Reject couldn't even muster double digits.
Very, very good start by
Damn.
Loud, to say the least. I mean, that was so dominant. Bit of a speed run if Reject don't put on the brakes. Let's see how they respond. I don't mind the comp. It's decent. I'm definitely favouring what Loud have brought, but I mean, it's not to say it can't work for sure. So they've got to do a little bit more in this time round, or this is going to be a very swift set.
I feel like Loud did a really good job of taking away any value Barry could have possibly had, because now he's just overwhelmed. It's two throwers in a one-on-one that I feel like should beat it, and now he has to just focus on keeping himself up, but he needs to keep Melty up so Melty can take down the enemies. It's a really tough spot to be in. This is a much better start, though. Batman just getting aggressive, running at the enemy, but Firecrow's super will shut him down.
Firecrow will have plenty of time to heal now as well, as Kylo just keeping that rough supply drop protected as best he can. Trying to connect the yo-yo there, but can't at all as Melty's evading forwards. But now, with the help of the Juju, should keep the Shade a bit more suppressed. Hypercharge for Batman. It's got to come in now and get his teammates on the zone. Straight for Firecrow, a bit of a miss, actually. He stayed alive much longer than he should have there.
Not direct contact, but still gets the kill. Melty will shred through the left-hand side. Batman spacing the floor, now dropping a super, will remain up. This is how they have to take advantage. It's going to be a tough one for Melty here. It's a wide open space. They are throwers, so if he can get up in their face, he's going to be able to get those quick swipes and takedowns. But until then, it's going to be much more difficult. Perfect shot out of Kyle Dog.
Yeah, Firecrow as well with a fantastic super. Shu had really nowhere to go, and it bought a lot of time for Loud. But it's a closer match, no doubt about it. Melty finds a nice swipe there into as well. Kyle struggling in this mid.
Well, Batman is playing this shit pretty good. Yeah, that's a nice super.
Forced away. It's going to be the issue with the throwers. Sure, they can hide behind the walls, but with low HP, they can't march forward. Oh, a perfect trap there. With the Cocoon going down on the left hand, and they're trying to free their teammate. Not enough to preserve his life, though. All of a sudden, though, things even swept away in game number 1, but slowly progressing through this second.
Yeah, Siggy is pretty good into Barry. But oh yeah. Okay.
I don't think even the Ziggy super is going to be
Yeah.
enough to turn them off that zone. The game will go the way of Rejects. We're all tied up.
That's interesting. Oh, it's a trophy again.
Out of what I expect to see from Reject. I really thought this was going to be a fairly even match. I just have question marks about both these teams, to be quite frank with you. You know, at Brawl Cup, I thought Loud played pretty well. They got some good victories. A team like Tribe Gaming, no slouches. That's NA's #1, who were undefeated in the entire year to that point. Reject, of course, have challenged teams well, but their performances weren't the best against Data Division. So how will they fare against the rest of the world? This is going to be a great testing ground for them.
Yeah, really solid points. And Loud will go back to that first game where they had a much better start, but this time round, Reject are valuing their lives. And these berry hills, they are so massive, really. Batman's going to keep it up, though. Big taps coming forwards. Kyle pushed back now as the support from above of Shu helps to deter the aggressiveness of that right-hand side. Big in there from Batman. Finds Firecrow as well. It's a massive kill.
Massive kill for sure, because now Melty at least has a little breathing room, and if they're hovered on Melty, well, they've got Batman and Shu on this left hand now open side, so they can just 2v1 if they really need to. Hypercharge for Batman.
Oh, that could have been a deadly hyper. Okay, that's something.
Make the most of this moment that Firecrow has pushed forward. Shu again in a tough spot there.
Yeah, this is dangerous.
It might help. Melty going around the top though as well to get this flank off.
Well, or maybe not.
On 27% only, now starting to creep up, but Reject has got
I'm not sure.
Firecrow trying to hurt them, and it's not going to work out at all. No kill from that super. Now he's weak on enemy territory.
She's playing that pretty damn good. Yeah, that might be Firecrow gone. That is Firecrow gone. Melty's going to die. Interesting. And
cycle is just a little bit off, and they've got to increase the communication to ensure that everyone's on their feet a bit better. Firecrow yet again with a lovely super, provides some space, gets some time on the zone onto the objective.
But still, come on, Reject.
Heal up on his left-hand side. He's in a tough spot now, but getting back into the game is going to be key. Loud cannot leave this zone. They've got to stay on their feet.
If they lose this positioning, it is definitely over. Melty in their faces is a problem. Adinho with a gadget now connects with Melty as well. Batman there to play point guard, trying to preserve the life of his teammates. All 3 Loud members standing tall, though. There goes a super.
Oh, what is he doing?
The last chance they have of getting this. He does his best, but with a Gree on the ground, Loud
And
should be able to retake.
that's
They're low HP, they can Batman do the unthinkable here.
maybe not. Oh, yeah, that is over.
Just about get it. That was crucial, but they stayed firm.
But it was pretty close.
I would love for some
I
pros to
think.
sound off on Twitter of how they think this draft went. Double thrower is really unique. On the other side, though, Shade with wall break. I mean, what are we doing out here? What's going on? I mean, the Shade gonna do well into the right-hand side, of course. You look at the paper matchups. Shade can pierce through the walls and get somebody like Juju, who's a low HP brawler. That's where the Assassins come to play. And in the face of that, Lao still select, I think, 6,500 HP of Ziggy. It's just a really unique one. It worked out for Loud, but I don't know what to make of that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's one of those counterintuitive moments where you don't want to talk too soon. You know, the pros are pros for a good reason. They've got a plan, you know, up their sleeve, but it didn't really present itself for the Reject. That second game was definitely better, but I think there's probably better synergies you can find, and that's kind of where Ruffs, you know, is very versatile, but can also be detrimental to your comp.
Yeah, we went all the way around the world in terms of results. I mean, game number one, Loud absolutely smoked Reject, and all of a sudden I was like, maybe double throws and play, what do I know? But then you saw the adjustments coming in from Reject. Once they finally freed up their teammate Melty to get to the front lines, they were good. It's just that slow start because Shade, of course, has limited range. If he doesn't have a super cycling in, he can't progress forward on the map. It's just much more difficult. Once you hit that first super, though, the game changes. The fact that they were able to do that made it much closer. Clutch stuff from Loud, by the way. I don't think we touched on that enough. In the middle of the moment, though, if they had given up control in that game number 3, this set goes a completely different direction.
They were so low in terms of HP. I think that's what I was so impressed by towards the end of that. I mean, if you looked at how, like, everyone was below 1,000 HP, everyone. And that takes just literally a couple of taps, and that entire game and set goes the way of Reject. There's no doubt in my mind. So, great jukes. Great ability to know how important it is. At certain moments in the game, you already have to speak to yourselves and say, this is the moment that we cannot falter. And that's exactly what happened.
On the top right-hand side as well.
That's
interesting development going on today. Look, I knew I wasn't gonna have perfect predictions, right? Had no idea what we were in store for 2020.
Wait, STM and Zeta are
2-2 head-to-head match versus
head-to-head?
STMN, one of the biggest dark horses, somebody that
What?
every single person almost in this community is sleeping on right now. Somehow, some way, North America's number 4 is challenging a Brawl Cup top 3 team.
It's absolutely nuts. Again, I feel like, you know, who is writing this script? You know, Brawl Stars announced, you know, 10,000 gem incentive for getting all your predictions right, and then we have a day one
they
like
crank up the heat. They crank up the heat.
Who's doing this? It's so rigged. It's absolutely insane. But if STMN do that, that will be absolutely disgusting.
Would be a huge shocker. I mean, just think about this in terms of number 1s and 2 seeds we've already seen go down today. So Humble condemned now to your already final life. We're going to be seeing them later today against SKC. And then on top of that, if Zeta Division lose that, that is 2 of the top 3 teams from our mid-season point. The Brawl Cup, that would already be in jeopardy. That's an insane thought. For now, though, we've got our hands full with Reject versus Loud. This is Group C in a very intense match. The winner will move on to day number 2 scot-free. They won't have to deal with another match today. Bells Rock is where this is going to take place, and it's going to be a Doug with the first overall pick. This may shock a lot of people.
Angelo, maybe?
Bells Rock.
Yeah, it's just like, again, going down that line of the cheese comp, and Gray's still open here, so I feel like you really have to pick it up here, because you can't allow that to be paired with the Doug on a map like this. It's just going to be a very, very tough thing to handle, to deal with. I mean, some of the safer bets here, really, RT, Gus, Byron, there's still going to be options, but, you know, for Loud, that's definitely kind of their flavor. I think, you know, the Squeak ban's quite nice. Is it the worthiest of bans? I'm not overly convinced there by Reject, but certainly throwers, if you've got the Gray on your side, it can be very much a good thing to pair with.
Blue is certainly a targeted ban here, along with Cordelius. They are looking to remove anything that deals with the Immortal Glizzy on the left-hand side, and they're going to go with Charlie as their choice of opposition into this. This is going to be targeted at that Doug. You mentioned it. Gray, a lot of the times, going to show up alongside that Doug for these in-game scenarios where you're just passive the whole way, you're waiting around. Doug is there to heal, and those close quarters interaction is going to do great, and that's why you're going to see Loud steal that. They don't want to grant the opportunity to Reject. I will add, Byron is still available as a pairing. We saw Kit removed. A lot of the times, those are Ollie pairings, but obviously Ollie not going to be in the equation here, and I think Doug could benefit from similar brawlers.
I think it's a good shout, to be fair. Certainly the Ollie Byron's my favorite of the pairings, but I think as a sort of way to make Doug still have a solid opportunity, it makes a lot of sense as a fallback option here. But if Loud go to continuously break the map as well and bring something else to the equation, what's this Doug going to do? How's it going to fare? That's my kind of worry for them. The Gust is a good shout. You've got to have that shielding to pair and keep your teammates alive.
Jeanette, maybe.
His final pick right. It's going to be very tough to do so with that Doug.
I'm curious if they pair this with something annoying like a pesky thrower like a tick, or if they just grab something like a Colonel Ruffs and go for an old-timey strat where they power up their allies, because they're all going to be sitting together. So if they can just use the star power that allows you to gain health points, not just healing, but total health points per round, that would make them so powerful in those in-game scenarios. So I feel like Reject are either all about commit, or they're going to play it more passive. And the all commit is certainly where they're going with the Kaze.
Yeah, absolutely so. I mean, that's a great pairing with the Gust and the Kaze. But you've got to have that timed aggression in that regard now for Loud. I would kind of like to see them break things open here. I think that would be a good way to really kind of work against the Doug or thrower. Now that you can see the bigger picture, but you've got to protect that thrower if you do, because the Kaze is going to be the biggest of threats in that regard. So, if they go Rico, quite a squidgy brawler, not going to be the best into Kaze. I don't know whether I'm a huge fan of it, but we saw, at Brawl Cup, it got some insane results, specifically with like Toxic Lotus. I mean, it was absolutely disgusting here. So keeping the walls up and utilizing the Rico, that's the way that they want to fare, and I don't mind it. You've got to be committing to one of those ideas or the other. You've got to either use the walls or break them, and they're going to try and use them.
Absolutely with that Rico pick. Cheese strat on the left-hand blue side, but Loud up 1-0 as we waltz into the set number 2. Bataman, though, already getting sneaky, trying to get himself into position. A nice walking cane. The more walls they can tear down, the better. Biodog can still benefit from the outside ones.
I see something as well, but I see a Rico.
Biodog is going to have his work cut out for him there. That was a big heal.
But what's Melty doing? Yeah. No, Fire Crow. Just don't, please.
He is found very quickly. She's already earned the hot dog though, and that's quite a big time to do so. He hands it over as well, allows Bataman to go on the aggressive.
Oh.
Down, it didn't connect.
Ooh, perfect timing. Yeah, going to be eliminated there. That's a rough go at it, because I think that was obviously the strategy. They're going to power up their teammate with an extra life, so they either don't shoot him and die, or they shoot him and bring him back to life with full HP. This is a clean sweep, though, coming out of Loud. Nicely done, so a 1-0 start.
Well, Bataman immediately going to this right-hand side lane, goes invis, but pretty sure he was spotted regardless. Hypercharge for Firecrow as well. That's going to be a big helping hand for Loud. Kaido didn't connect with the most of that. That's unfortunate for him. That could have been a massive moment.
Yeah, rough go at it. Missed walking cane as well. Hypercharge and super combination still available for Firecrow, though, as Adinio works the distance. Bataman crawling his way up the right-hand side. Just has to find a way to punch through. Now a Hypercharge super available for Shu, and that's something to keep your eyes locked on.
Yeah, Bataman needs to have more utility to be able to combine with it. I mean, that's really what you want. A Hypercharge in the cars, they would be massive, but at this rate, they're being forced back. And that's another missed connection from Kaido. Just trying to keep the control is where their minds are at, but not going to do too much more. Firecrow, and maybe gadget this potentially if he wants to. He's going to do that, and he actually gets it. Unreal from him. Great composure.
Oh, damn.
They bought some time with Melty being cocooned as well. Some numbers advantage for Loud. The immortal hot dog now running down the middle of the map. Super available for Melty. He's going to keep himself up as long as possible.
The hot
but
dog
going to be brought back to life. Spiders incoming. Kyo Dog wasted super. Won't super matter though. Shu doesn't have enough health points. Close to the Feist. Loud. Clean up here in game number 1.
But it was kind of close.
That was a moment where he really had to come through for his team there. And that was really nicely done, I'll be honest. So for Rejects there, looking a little bit shaky, not gonna lie. I feel like they've got a comp that can still certainly work.
Once it's already done, right.
And the Kaze Hypercharge at the same
right,
really
that was something.
I felt like, that was the weakness. They've got to be able to get right this time round.
Their attempts at aggression have just failed them so far. A missed opportunity with the super in the first one, and in the second go, just too early of a death. They have to have the numbers, they have to play the in-game. This is going to be a much more powerful positioning from them. Loud on the outset, going to be sitting tight. Bataman, Shu, now pairing up. Gonna back away here. It's just no death so far, just a little bullets being shed.
Bataman trying to sneak around this right-hand side to get some very important heals there from Shu along the way. This portal from Firecrow could be the perfect escape maneuvering if it's needed. Skydog finds a lovely angle down that mid as well, keeping Batman's press. There's the hypercharge, but there's not really much from Batman except a fan storm to be able to bring to the mix here. The Loud are pushed into this back left corner, and this is going to be a tough one to escape.
Super available for Kyle Dog as well. Middle of the map, occupied by Loud. Shu trying to heal up his teammate.
What are they doing?
No way for him to survive. 3v2 situation.
They have to communicate more.
Left all alone. Super being popped. Not enough. Shu on the outset.
Or what's that? The comms are just lagging.
Reject need to start to make some moves here.
Oh.
Well, this could be going a very miserable place for them. And they are still looking at 0 sets on the board. They've got to find something within themselves. Kyodog there, we're utilizing that wall so nicely.
Oh, this
Doug really is keeping everyone alive, but for how much longer? Fanstorm goes out yet again. Loud are blind. Force back Kyodog there, just having the support because Firecrow was taking some big, heavy shots. Dino's got to make some space and try to maneuver around this bottom right.
Full house of cards coming in for Loud. Now a connection. Oh, what a super!
What's
They're still focusing him down. Shu will survive. He activates hypercharge, gets to get the extra speed. Batman freeing him at a moment's notice. Shu though, South America's #1. Constantly keeping Reject in check. They look fierce. They look strong. They are one set away from taking South America's first match since 2021.
It's 2021. That's crazy. SA. But that's close.
World Finals, and that is the scoreline, which to me says that story. If they can keep this up, they could be a real contender against many other people's opinions. I mean, I was 50-50. This is a result that is not looking 50-50.
It's 2025. You have to do away with the past at some point. The past can help you predict, but it's not an end-all be-all. We saw Humble already lose today. Loud, South America as a whole, hasn't done a thing, but heck, STMN are 2-2 against somebody like Zeta Division. You just never know, folks. This is why we show up every single year. Just a special esports, special players, and so much work being put in. And so far, it's paying dividends for Loud. I think this has got to feel real bad for Reject too. I can't help think, Doug, not the most skill-expressive brawler, right? When you pull off a cornball strategy and it gets shut down, that's demoralizing. Reject are going to have to pick themselves up here, and I can't imagine a 2-0 deficit for any pro team, but especially off to the backs of that.
Yeah, I'm with you, and you can see it on Melting.
I mean,
right?
maybe it's
really
just
taking a bit of a heavy hit on that set, and
East Asia
these are the
thing.
moments where teams have got to come together and start talking. No way!
What?
Are you serious?
I mean, speechless. It's been a day of upset, and I think STMN as one of the darkest horses here on that top right-hand side. They just showed it. Ridiculous. Folks, don't go anywhere. On day one, you already got one dose of Humble. You already got one dose of Zeta Division. Get ready for round 2. They have to save their tournament lives here later on today. Reject could be dangerously close to doing so in just one set. Here we go. Stop where we head for set number 3. 2 brawlers I have my stereotypical ones. This is Heist. So Miko is going to have my attention. Kaze, of course, is an aggressive brawler at the top of that list. 2 very
Is this scripted? Are we going to see a reverse sweep?
Yeah, great shot. Shade as well, being that Reject have already brought it in once. Be fair to assume they might do so again. I think it's a better place here than it was on
just
the
my
business,
prediction.
but I mean, those are all great brawlers. I think Yotis especially is a definite consideration. Kaze for Loud, I think they could definitely do with that. It's a tough map. There's a lot of potential bans here, and you can't ban everything. So I think that, you know, those are the big ones. You know, the brawl, especially for me, since the rework, I'm really enjoying where that particular brawler lies. And the Berry can just kind of sit back and just play the long game. Or have that be a helping
that's
to stay longer
crazy.
on the safe. But certainly, brawlers like Miko, you can't really afford to leave them open.
Not to mention, too, Mina gets banned just about anywhere, but this is one of those maps and modes where she could slide through, just like we're seeing here. So Miko out of the way. Kaze not in the picture. It's going to be very first overall selection, so going to be looking for archetypes like that. Plus, just in general for Heist, does a sneaky amount of damage. I mean, not only can he heal himself, heal his teammates, but those trickling little ice cream cones can do quite a hefty amount of damage over time for Heist safe.
Look specific bans. Notice wouldn't be a bad shout, honestly, with what I'm seeing. I mean, the Tara is not my favorite, but it's definitely an option considering just like how much has been banned out here. For Loud, got some options. It's not out of the question at all, but I think they would have liked to have got the more aggressive brawlers, which, I mean, now they still have the option. Hank gonna come in big, a big tank, but this was what I remember from Brawl Cup though, was seeing a Hank on defense. They've got to really steer clear or be very careful at this stage of the draft. I don't like it, honestly, in Heist. It's my least favorite brawler, really, to make work. It really punished Castle Brawl. That was like where I saw their draft diminish against Crazy Raccoon.
It's a good brawler, but is it a good brawler for Heist?
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's good on head-to-head matchups. Not good for a Heist save.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how this goes. Lily was the one I was expecting. So when you look at that ban stage, anytime you see a Barry, keep an eye out for Kaze and Shade. Two aggressive brawlers that can get up in the face of Barry, and on top of that, they can do high save damage. That's 2 pluses. Unfortunately, they're both in the ban stage. So I think that's part of the reason Reject pulled the trigger on Barry early. Lily on the other side is probably the 3rd best brawler, or at least in the mix of those other 2, right, of dealing with Barry. High save damage and a great one head-to-head. Those are the pluses I'm looking for in a draft.
I want to see a Melody here from Reject. I feel like that could be a very good answer. I think the Hank's very much a response from the Barry. It makes it harder for him to kind of get the value and stay behind walls and just kind of get a bit of a freebie rather. Ball coming in for Reject, I really love. I've got to say, I mean, the Barry Ball combo and the Melody. Oh, this is a draft that I'm struggling to really favor with Loud. I mean, those are the 3 brawlers, especially that Ball combo with the Barry and the Melody. They've got some very aggressive ideas there.
Well, now you have a Bull that's going to be good into the Hank as well. I mean, shotgun
yeah, but
brawler,
the court could. Oh, court is
bring Hank down
banned.
quickly, because otherwise he's just going to use his tank.
Maybe
his
I'll
regular shotgun to charge up
do.
that super. So if he's not healing, he's not progressing up the map. And on top of that, Bull
Else
certainly
is
dishes out
there?
more high save damage than Hank. All 3 members of Reject are great objective brawlers. Sometimes it's not always those paper matchups. You have to focus on the objective at hand, getting that high save damage. Otis going to be their way of cleaning up. Decent for high save damage, of course, but more than anything right now, I think they just need some defense.
Yeah, exactly that. But again, you can mute a Melody, but it will prevent her from supering for sure. But the notes will stick around, so that's going to be a good answer, regardless. I think the Otis was definitely what Loud needed at that time. But in Heist, I like the aggressive cycling ideas. It can be, you know, just you sitting in the defensive, just constantly defending if you're not careful. So I do still favor Reject, but with Loud having the momentum with which they've got, that gives me confidence, especially now with this Lily. I think the Kaya Dog.
So, what do we got here?
It's a free shot towards the left-hand side due to that gadget, but he is met with a shotgun to the face from Shu.
But the Lily.
Trying to climb his way up this map. Kyo Dog weak, goes down. 2v2 situation.
I wanted to say that Lily can't do anything, but that was a lie, it seems.
You know, slows their Shu. Now with a potential pinch, Kaya Dog, they get down Batterman. She's going to stay here, but if you can just stick behind the stake, he's got damage gear rolling in. No reason to move away from this until he's forced to. So Batterman might be wanting to use, yeah, I was going to say this would be able to get behind it. I was going to go for the kill myself, but I'm not a pro player. Hey, first stage of the safe is cracked there by Loud as well, so that's a good start.
Pretty even matchup. Only a few percentage points separating these 2 strong.
A few?
Now left-hand side, dashing away. He's going to be a huge offensive instigator for them as Kyle Dog keeps punching at the safe. But Dino on the other side, getting extra tags. Shu can only do too much. It's Bull. He does not multitask well. Shelly, Bull, any of these shotgun brawlers, they're a 1 brawler at a time focus kind of person.
Oh, the safe just lingering there on 6%. There's still time here for Reject to make this comeback. Hypercharge there for Batterman. Melty's got his 2, so he can get forwards and get on the safe. It could be diminished so quick, but Batterman's going to get a tap here, which he does. That's going to be massive, because that is going to be a stage crack that's going to take some time for Melty to get the value. No, he gets it!
Yeah, that's massive.
Huge! That's Reject!
Yeah, finally, RC.
Massive turnaround. Loud not out of it just yet. If they take this set, they will be moving forward to day number 2, but Reject, East Asia's number 2, have something to say about it. They've been in big moments this year, not LAN. They haven't been to something like Brawl Cup, where Zeta Division were ahead of them at the halfway point. They didn't have to go to LCQ because they were so strong in their region. So this is really the first time under the bright lights on the big stage to see how they handle things here. It's good to see they can deal with a little adversity.
Yeah, Reject needed a victory there. Otherwise, it was going to go a very dangerous place for Kyle now on the safe, getting some good damage. Shu's going to be cautious here. He doesn't die himself. Kyle now going back into the realm. Going to be now taken care of, but he got some good damage for his time there. If a couple more taps had landed,
Oh, that shot of Batman is deadly. But oh, that's the new. That's a stake.
Good defense there from Kyodog, it's got to be said, as that was a tough position. Firecrow had already started moving forward, so if Batman had stayed alive, that would have been some big damage. But now that safe will crack for Dino, as Lau will probably stay mid here a little bit and be cautious of this flank from Melty. That's why Einstein, he's got the hypercharge, and now the super, he's dangerous.
Shu, nice pickup there. Batman and Melty, work to do up top. Both sides looking to crack this second heist safe. Dino hypercharge will charge up his super as well and preserve his life. Kyodog dives in. Nice tag team there coming in from Hank and Lily. Batman doing his best to battle, but he's such a squishy brawler, doesn't do a ton of damage. He's holding on his own though. Kyodog hasn't been able to leave. Oh, and a tough miss super as well. Chu gonna be on the back heels. As Kyodog pushes forward, gonna be tough in the face of a shotgun, and reinforcements have arrived. Batman is back from spawn.
Kyodog just getting another tap there. That's a huge moment to crack that safe at 50%. Now Lau can be a bit more aggressive, or afford to be at least. Batman goes in with a nice little tail swipe, but that's Kyodog again doing wondrous work. Firecrow is staying back on the defense to ensure it too. Gets the pick of the
Oh,
ball.
that's not good for Reject.
Bad placement on that berry. Down to 30%
They
now.
are down.
Once again, advantage Loud.
Basically, Batman has to go in once. Yeah.
10 on the clock. Hypercharge for Shu.
Oh,
Head first, connects with the wall though. He's left all alone. 24.
No, that would have been enough.
Not close enough. South America's #1 are on.
Oh damn. What the heck is that?
This year. But I've got to say, a lot of the time this year, they've also not been sealed. Loud cannot afford to let this one linger. They've got to tie it up, because Reject have started in this set to get a bit of momentum. And Brawl is such a momentum-based game.
Come on.
Let's see how they will fare, but Kyodog was playing so well. Shu gets just the upper hand there at 112 HP. And the help of those Berry Hills went a long, long way. Now, Rejects are in a fantastic position.
Beautiful shutdown by Shu, and it leads to a little offense. Adinho hugging himself to that indestructible wall. Melody making her move, survives a little high safe damage alongside it. Shu getting in positioning, dives in.
Yeah, but this looks good.
Ready to go, so Shu off to the races.
Yeah,
going to still head in
that's
first. Goes for 2, bang!
something good.
Unbelievable performance.
What a cycle. Really fantastic work. But what did it really achieve in terms of the heist damage? That's the thing, is now Loud making a massive push forwards with the hypercharge and the slow. Batman hiding behind this wall, using that gadget as well with the tailspin to try to stay alive here, being aggressed by Adino as Kyodog again goes into the realm and keeps this battle alive with Shu.
Tough matchup for him. Shotgun Brawlers typically can have an advantage of Lily. A great job of baiting out that gadget as well, so it's back on the timer. From the Shadow Realm they go, and a respawn alongside it for Kyodog. Shu, the only presence in the middle of the map for Reject. Everybody just getting in the mix here. Trades on both sides, but certainly an advantage right now for Reject.
They've got to stay firm on this defense. Kyodog now coming forwards, finds the safe. It's cracked down. But in the meanwhile, Reject can afford to go on the aggressive. That's the problem now for Kyodog. Still so much to do, and Shu is defending so much better this time as well. I feel like the timer is against Loud. We've got to now play defense, but they can't afford to. Melty can just shoot on through here. If he finds the angle, finds the gap, which he's going to go for now. He's getting on the safe, no questions asked. Firecrow has got to defend now.
Excellent defense.
That's hopefully going to go.
But as you alluded to,
yeah.
Buzzer beaters far between now in the mode that we have. You have to crack for each 25% of this heist save. Adino doing all he can. Kyodog, though, needs to start moving. I hate to force the issue, but you're running out of time, brother.
This safe should be cracked soon, but with 20 seconds on the clock, it is going to be close. And Reject can just afford to continuously go on the aggressive, which they're doing right now. Shu's on the safe, down to 10%, and look at that, it's immediately gone. It's a set going the way of Reject. There's no time like the present.
Nobody is safe. That's one thing I have certainly learned in our 2025 World
Mighty Wars.
It's not over until you hear that bell ring, and Reject certainly not going anywhere left. This is Shu's performance of the day. 13 kills there. High safe damage galore. I mean, this man was everywhere in set number 3.
He was so important because Kaido was playing phenomenally well and getting so much safe damage in, and Shu was the person to stop it and prevent it and just hold back. I thought Lau were going to be able to seal it, I'm not going to lie. So for Reject now, they've got a chance now to talk in amongst this next draft before it appears and figure out where the cracks do lie, because they can clearly, they can win this. There's no question about it in my mind, but it's the mentality. And that's where teams are struggling, I think, at the World Finals a little bit. It's all in the mental. But you can see there in terms of the technique, nothing that you can say to go against what, it's brilliant, but it's just all in their minds right now. But that's enough to say that we can do it.
Calm, cool, and collected for Loud still. That's the mentality you have to have. I think that one was a miss on the draft for me, though. I think it was just more of a mistake out of Loud, not where credits obviously do. Shu played out of his mind, Reject with great high safe damage, everybody doing their part. The Hank pick just, it doesn't click in my brain. It didn't make sense to me for the map in mode. It's not somebody that shows up a ton in the pick rate, and I'm sure it scrims. It's not necessarily a top ban rate on that map in particular. So an interesting strategy coming out of Loud there. I don't feel like any of these teams have really run away with a draft diff, if you will. I feel like both sides have had some questionable moments, some better moments than others, but it's led to a good match, and all of a sudden Reject back in this.
This is now a really tough position for Rejects, but if they can still continuously dig deep and get these drafts right, I'm with you, by the way. I'm really not sold on this Hank. I can see that it was kind of more the thought behind targeting that berry, but it's just really tough to make work the majority of the time. So I think it's better defensive ideas. Go in to Brawl. Pinhole punt up next. And for Loud, they had a match point. They've now got to be able to earn another one. And if that keeps getting rejected, no pun intended, then it's going to go to a final set. By which point, where's your morale going to be?
Notably as well, Reject have performed pretty poorly against World Finals scrims teams during the last week or so. So if they pull this off, it would be quite a way to get to a set 5. Mo is one of my top candidates to show up in this map, and of course he's going to be on the ban stage right-hand side. No Hank, no Meeple, no Mina. Predictable bans, I would say, from Reject. So some openings available. Otis comes to mind here as the safe bet. I think Crow is certainly in that mix as well. Those are a couple of your top first pick brawlers right now at a pro gameplay.
Mina, Hank, Meeple, Mo, Ross, and Squeak banned out. And the first pick of Crow, very South American, no doubt about it. I think that a Buster would be a bad shout on the side there of Loud. Reject's going to be coming in. Jae Young could be a good, safe kind of starting hand for me a little bit here. Maybe get an Otis as well. It's just an insurance policy. Doesn't have to be facing into tanks to get some good value for me on this kind of map. So Ali's definitely a bit of a concerning brawler, which could lurk as well, but that's why I kind of prefer the Buster over it myself, although it's kind of hard to hit shots. You're going to be surviving a bit longer. Gus going to come in for Reject.
Gus a little unexpected here, I would say. I think they're going to be looking to pair this with something. It's going to be good in terms of range head-to-head against somebody like a Crow, but I'm curious of how they go, because this isn't a stereotypical mid, I would say, right now in our meta. We do have brawlers that are more aggressive that get paired with it sometimes. You'll see ones like Buster. Carl is an aggressive brawler. Ali has shown up quite a bit at a professional level, so a little mix of aggro that I mentioned there. Sometimes a little tank gameplay. I'm curious if they grab that brawler now or wait to do it for their 6th pick as a match into whatever Loud picks.
Meg coming in for Reject. Definitely a brawler which has surprised me in the meta currently, coming forward a little bit more than in recent time. But is it going to perform the best here? The Gus Shield's going to go a long, long way here. Love for Gary, love to see it. I mean, don't we all? Love to see the guy smile once in a while, though. No, we keep bumping each other in the elevator of the hotel constantly. Every single time, there's always Gary in the lift.
That's a menacing glare as well. That's somebody I don't want to mess with on the battlefield. I think Meg partially there for extra health points as well. It's somebody that shows up sometimes. I'm not going to say it's a frequent pick by any means on this map, but just somebody like Crow in particular, really difficult to get a takedown. Stu, a very South American selection. Pam, somebody with the healing station that has risen through our ranks. And now Reject. Opportunity for the 6th pick.
Loud have a very acid draw.
Opportunity. Expecting something a little bit off the wall here, because I just feel like they need it, and they've already gone a Meg, so clearly it's going to be an unpredictable one. I'm curious to see what that is for them.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, did
what
not
about
see the Meg coming. That's a very rare plushie, by the way. Are they being sold in? I know there's some stuff for
I
sale. I wasn't
think,
sure that they're bringing those ones back.
yeah,
Charlie coming as the final pick there.
Charlie.
You know,
I don't really see
okay,
why,
I don't
but
mind it. It's not the
it's
flashiest of
fine.
comps on the side of Reject. Beck going to be a tough one to shake, for sure, especially if the Gus can kind of keep handing over that that shielding. But I mean, yeah, I kind of feel like with the Palm, especially on the side of Loud and the Crow, those kind of brawler pairings can be quite strong in Brawl Ball. They can just kind of sit back and wait for the push from Reject and just continuously tap into it. But definitely not the drop I was expecting from a little bit from both sides.
Oh damn, what the heck
Absolutely
did I
not.
do
Unique
there?
stuff going down in this match. Loud and Reject. Unorthodox drafts the entire way through, but whatever works to get you a win at the end of the day. Right now, Loud trying to punish Reject and end their day here. Bam now sitting on that top right-hand side. Positioning
What
that healing
was
station. She got it
that?
very early. I feel like that's going to be an easy one to charge up a mech.
Yeah, she's going to swipe it. Nice. And kind of trying to body block against it. Nice connection from Batman now, and Edina coming straight out is going to go straight down. Kaido going to have to defend for his life here. It's in a really tough spot. Shuni's dropped out of mech here just in the nick of time just to get some support from Firecrow now.
Oh damn.
Extra speed going down as
No, don't you play that crow skin.
Speed her way up the middle of the map, take down from Melty, and now they've got dangerous intentions on this left-hand side. Hypercharge.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's go. The last thing is going to be not knockout. What is it called? Bounty, right?
Firecrow popping there. The shielding defensive booster is the gadget of choice.
Oh.
Now the Spiderlings cause a little bit of an issue, but not too much so that Loud can't deal with them. Pushing forwards yet again, maybe on this right-hand side. If Kaido can just utilize
Multi, be careful.
here for Loud. They time this well.
Super available for Firecrow.
What?
Be waiting for an opportunity to strike. Kyle Dog, of course,
Interesting,
the hypercharge
interesting.
available too. Shu now running away with it. Oh, a super pass the wrong way. Dangerous.
What
Adini
are
now
we
just needs to find
doing?
blunder here that grants Loud a goal.
Yeah, it's moments like that which, if you capitalize the
Damn.
really harmful for your mental. Hypercharge
No.
wasting no time, ball pushing through
No,
again.
this is almost over.
Can Kaido go on the aggressive?
Brother.
From a mistake to a complete game turnaround. And Loud are yet
What?
again in a match point position.
Brutal. After being down 2 sets, clawing your way back up in the third, grabbing an early goal in game number 1. Now they have to deal with devastation. Another obstacle in the road if Reject want to come out alive.
Firecrow being aggressed heavily between Melty and Batman here though. And now Shu has the final say. Kaido needs to get this ball super it forwards, but he's not able to do so. Really dangerous start for Loud. Rejects are looking to make good on that mistake.
Wounded warriors on this top right-hand side as Batman is forced away. Melty low had to pop a super and Shu. Ooh, close to going down. There it is. Outside of the mech, it's just the pistol. A little pea shooter for Shu as each side are trading blows. Slow start here, but
Batman, please.
Ball push to the left. That healing station going to be quite important, but again, all the damage that's dealt is going to lead to some utility for Reject, so it's not going to do everything for Loud here. Shielding goes out for Melty. Firecrow's in a good spot though on his left-hand side, but Shu makes the pass through the back.
Oh, okay, that's huge. That's huge.
Way to shake it off. Reject have to find
Okay, so
it's not impossible. We've seen what they can do. We've seen
yeah.
What's one more, folks?
But why are they putting the mag on the Crow? Because she has too much HP, I guess.
Slowly up this mid, but with all the health points of Shu and the heavy machine gun fire, it's hard to penetrate.
Well, I would like to have the mag on the stew, the Gus on the Crow, and the Charlie on the mag, on the Pam.
They can get Shu out of mech. It'll be big, but it's surviving on here.
Reject doing everything they can to cycle. Ball being pushed forward, though. Fire.
I don't know, is it worth it going for the hyper? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Okay. So the Pam has to get her turret around there.
aggressive hold.
No.
Yeah, didn't want to risk it. Shoes out of mech as well, so he needs to get back in it and land these taps, which he does. And he's got a hypercharge too. Loud are fumbling this.
I don't really
here.
think that's going to be enough.
Has he got a hypercharge potentially here in his back pocket ready? It's 10 seconds. Can Loud make this push? The low on HP.
No,
Shoe is staying
oh,
well.
what a snipe.
Still gonna be there with 5 seconds
Okay,
remaining.
yeah.
Loud can't find
That's
the
GG's.
chance. And Reject
Oh.
survive on a little longer.
If that
This is getting scarier by
damn.
a blunder out of Reject in game number 1 led to yet another match point in this match. But nonetheless, still alive here. It's going to take everything from Reject to push this from a step 5, but somehow they are one game away. The Kings of South America already fighting here early on day number 1.
For me, Reject have been the more consistent team in this set. I mean, Loud were able to capitalize on the mistake, but for the most part, I mean, Reject are doing a great job of controlling this. They've got a lot of range at their disposal, so, I mean, they've got the speed zone down now for Loud, but they need the healing station.
Oh.
Firecrow trying to make a break, now low HP, and so is Kaidog. This is dangerous.
Dog barely holding on, clinging to that healing station.
Damn.
Has the super available though for mobility. Melty has to fall back. Doesn't want to risk getting vaporized by the enemy team. This is where Loud can thrive though, but this is also where we saw them stumble a little bit earlier. Once they had that control, somehow Reject were able to climb back. Reject have to take care of business once again.
Speed zone down yet again.
The problem is, Loud don't have that much damage. And when the Charlie is able to put someone in the cocoon, the other one just can run it down.
Gonna be kicking this one back. Shoe out of the mech, and now they see it.
That's higher crow diving. Oh, yeah. But Charlie's just such a nice defensive brother. Bro, that was nice defense. Oh, damn it.
1-0 for Loud.
Firecrow did fantastically well. Yes, the ball's intercepted, but the lead
Come on.
important and entirely him.
You can do it. Okay, can't. Or oh, yeah, let's go. Nice timing.
And the response is so quick from Reject.
One goal decides the set. Number 1 from South America could walk away if they punch one through. They've got ball control for now. Dog though forced away. A low amount of health points.
Yeah.
Now available and Reject.
But the thing is, Reject have the range advantage. Just get Firecrow, yeah. And oh, that was so close.
Dog can have supers at the ready, dishes it to that right hand side. Shield available for Kyle.
Yeah, they have to get the station. Oh, that's good tanking. Nice. Nice. Brother. Oh. Wow. Wow. Wow, that's just crazy.
South America coming into this competition. But for now, they can put to rest. A 50-50 match, but one that looked a lot stronger when we saw it play itself out. What an important win for Loud.
Especially after seeing the caliber of teams that have gone down already today. The fact that Loud come out unscathed, impressive. Drafts were all over the place.
But the light melt, he's still.
That I'm just gonna have to analyze and try and figure out. But nonetheless, it worked out so well. Credit to Loud, a big win for them as a region.
This concludes our opening matches, and what 8 matches it have been. The last 2 being Stamina versus Zeta. I'm sure you heard how that went. And Reject versus Loud. We see Loud versus Reply Totem is going to be a match we watch today. We're now heading over to our elimination matches. And I had such an interesting walk back to this spot, by the way. I got almost
Please,
ran over by a super happy
SSG.
Juan Carlos. They did win against Zeta Division 3-2. It was an incredible match. After that, I saw Enraged. Papar Supermassive has to face up against Zeta Division now in the elimination matches. So with all of our openers concluded, it's elimination time.
Please, please, SSG. You can't do me like that.
We faced SSG early in 2023 and we faced a tough loss, but that was our first Worlds. I'm very glad to face them again, and I hope we can take our revenge this time, especially since we lost to them in a very unconvincing manner. So I'm very excited to face them.
Revenant, you guys had a very great showing at LCQ, but this World's group stage is your last stop.
What? They're doing SSG dirty.
Beautiful scenery, a beautiful city. We're here live in Stockholm from the Dream Hack. We're in the Worldstars World Finals as well. That's a little thing that is happening here today, and I'm super excited to be here yet again with Uber and Troll. I'm sure you watched the other opening matches, the ones you didn't cast to. Anything that stood out to you in particular?
Honestly, I was a little concerned with SSG coming into this tournament. Look, just the rumor mill was churning out some pretty grim tales of how they might perform here. But speaking to the players, they said, we're here to prove to everyone we're not washed. You know, like that's not a word we want to have applied to us. But this is their last chance to do so already.
I mean, looking down at this bracket now as well, you see Revenant, X-Spark and SSG, the game that we're going to be seeing now obviously as well, but it was a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest. I predicted SSG against Novo Esports. I thought their lack of experience on the big stage might have put SSG just that little bit of a tier above them, but they've proved the world wrong and proved that EMEA still has what it takes to get it done. But obviously, we're on to this match, Revenant versus SSG now, and it's going to be an absolute bang.
Revenant Expert looks strong in LCQ, not as strong today, a 3-0, but against SK, one of the best teams that are present here today. And Revenant Expert, they just mentioned it in their own interview as well, they did face SSG before in 2023, their first World Final, and now they have the chance to get revenge.
I think a lot has changed though since 2023. That was a fantastic year for that then STMN squad. These guys are the old guard in NA, but they have watched the new generation come up and knock them off their pedestal. I don't know how many more chances these guys are going to have to step into the spotlight to try and claim glory for their region. They've really got to shape up, because I would say a 1-3 result against Nova was a sloppy start to their Worlds campaign.
Yeah, I mean, I expected a
Bobby.
3-1 loss, so really disappointing for them. And, you know, they're going to be disappointed in themselves as well. I had a little chat with Chino this morning, and he felt like he was feeling a bit more confident than they had done over the past few days. Maybe old man Bobby.
That's mean.
That is so sad.
Maybe
I
old
feel
for
old
Brawl
now.
Stars standards, maybe, but I'll tell you what, these two stood next to me are a little bit older than that.
Brutal. I can't believe we're running back the Sergeant graphic as well. It's just too much, man.
I'm very much looking forward to this match. Yes, 2023, SSG did take it away in a 3-1 in the end, and they ended up becoming second in 2023 as well. Let's see if they can repeat that. Maybe they're going to win it all. Not off to the best start today. They did lose their opener match.
You are putting SSG to win this one. That is a pretty bold, I think, take to have.
I'm going to say, because they did not play on stage yet, they're going to have the crowd now, and we used to call them the Lawn Warriors. Maybe they can do it again.
I mean, they have said it themselves. NA has not done anything since we were in the spotlight, since we were at the top. That's a pretty bold claim to sort of say that the region rises and falls on their success. Perhaps they'll feel some pressure added as a result.
You better strap in, because our players are ready. Let's bring them up.
The bracket is taking shape, and this is where things start to get spicy. This next match, one stays, one goes home. It's as simple as that.
Please, SSG.
For Revenant X Spark and Space Station Gaming! Revenant X Spark have Response, X9J, and Sergeant. Space Station Gaming are Chino, Sans, and Bobby!
Come on, SSG.
On the right-hand side here, the NA squad 13 in the end, but it has been an up and down for them this year. They struggled throughout the year and ended up on a highlight, still making it out of their own power into the World Finals. After they had come second at the 2023 World Finals, they then didn't even qualify for 2024. So it's an up and down, not only this year, but over their whole career.
I mean, I think it can't be overstated how close this was for SSG this year. They barely qualified for LCQ. Now, some fortuitous circumstances in North America, at least for them, allowed them to make it directly to Worlds, but they were expecting to play LCQ, and that was only because they turned around and won the August monthly finals after doing not a whole lot for the rest of the year. They made semi-finals, I think, in March, April, June, but never really...
Yeah, Chino, that's what we want to see.
Match. So the fact that they could come out of virtually nowhere and win in NA in August, that's what got them into LCQ in the first place. Otherwise, you're not looking at these guys. There is no old guard of NA at Worlds at all.
Absolutely, and I mean, if you look at it as well, you know, they've qualified directly to Worlds because of that slight seeding adjustment. Revenant have just come from LCQ, so beating them will prove to the world that SSG do deserve to be here. They, as you say, we keep on saying the old guard of North America, so I love seeing them here. It's nice to see some old faces here and around. They've got to prove now that they deserve this qualification to the World Finals, because you say, it's been pretty much a pretty poor year, other than that final monthly final.
Shout out to you, of course, STMN alumni here. Lock-in Unk has got to be the call. Obviously, OG returns to coach this squad. Obviously, SSG had to go back to the well and find a replacement for Zar, who became one of the first few import players, alongside actually OG. I think he was basically one of the first. He went over to EMEA, so they find Chino, they fold him into the team, but this team just doesn't have it. They don't have what they had back in 2023. They didn't have that edge, that keen edge. They weren't ahead of the metagame. That always felt like they were playing catch-up for so much of this year. I hope they've struck gold this time. I hope they've really found the right answer, because the scrim data is not compelling for SSG.
Unfortunately not. It does look compelling though for Revenant X Spark. Also, those votes look nice. Almost 80% going towards that Southeast Asian roster. We keep mentioning how well they did at LCQ. They had 2 showings at LAN events this year already. At Brawl Cup, it did not look as good. And the last time we saw them there, they struggled against Elevate, another NA team.
I just want to say here for SSG very quickly, their best game mode is Bounty. We're starting on Layer Cake, but when I say best, they have a 50.8% win rate on the game type. That's their best in the last couple of months, the lead up to this tournament. So they have struggled against these other teams representing at Worlds, whereas Revenant X Spark generally feel quite confident on this game type. So the Gene already locked up here to start draft.
Yeah, I like that Gene pick. It's nice, diverse. It's pretty solid no matter what you can play it. The majority
The Gene being gone hurts.
Going to come in as well, just in case they bring in some aggression. Already, so the ability to walk through walls will be coming at some point, and they're going to have to be pretty defensive in that situation as well. But yeah, Willow very good against the aggression that's going to be coming in. It's the best thrower to be able to deal with tanks. So yet again, nice, versatile, diverse pick. Having the Gene to be able to pull stuff in, Willow solid against those tanks. And
so interesting to me that Gene even was left open here. SSG has the first pick and still decide to go with Meeple. It's a strat you can go with, together with a Hank, maybe a thrower. Meeple does a lot just because of the gadget alone. Now also with a new hypercharge, but still, leaving Gene open and then even getting it onto your side is going to be huge for Revenant X Spark. They have a thrower themselves. Willow, not something we see often on Bounty. I would have seen a tick, a Juju, of course, banned out here, but a tick maybe a bit more often. But I do like that Gene on the side of Revenant X Spark. I wonder if somebody's going to bring in some more aggression still. A lot of those are banned out though. Kaze, Ellie, and Ollie are
these
usually
3 are
it's really hard to play
really SSG picks.
Otherwise, your brawler who's tired gets turned back on you, and you end up giving up a ton of map control. I also think tick into the Gene, right, being able to throw out the head here to eat a potential pull is pretty powerful. This is the kind of map that for Bounty is uniquely favorable to throwers because of the the sort of layers of walls. And I do think Meeple is a primary go-to for a lot of these teams. Look to Sans to be the one on SSG who's playing a lot of the more technical brawlers or the ones that really need to carry. He's actually played a lot of the meeple alongside with Ollie and Shade. So definitely a centerpiece player for SSG. The guy's really hungry to prove himself. He kind of wants to achieve everything possible in Brawl Stars. He's really very driven. But for SSG, this might be their last chance to make an impact on 2025.
It really could. I mean, it's so surprising to see both teams of this caliber being in this position so early through the competition. Possibility of definitely one of these is going to be going out in day one here. So really difficult position for both teams. Revenant take a quick 3-0 loss to SK Gaming, so have a lot to prove in this one. And SSG unlikely loss against Novo Esports. They're going to go with the breaks, though. Obviously, the Brock coming in, so wants to try and get rid of the walls that the Meeple's going to be using, and the same with the Tick.
Bobby, though, gets that blue star off the back of a Mantis of Meeple, immediately thrown at the middle of the map. Sand's going to be operating the side lanes here, and you'll see Chino just try and canvas the map with as many of these mines as possible. But Response wants to disrespect the Tick. Obviously, at times can be outranged in that thrower matchup, so wants to get close if at all possible. We already have a super developed for Chino. A lot of good chip damage being done by the Tick. Gonna be a little tricky for Bobby, though, to duel out with Sergeant at length. He's outranged by the Brock, and like you mentioned, that wall break will come in handy.
Yeah, going to be super hard. They're pretty much going to be focusing down on this Otis, trying to beat him down at range.
Okay.
As well. Fast comes down, Sergeant
No.
Super just about clips.
Oh my gosh, let's go, Chino. Chino, we love you.
Will go down nonetheless. Nice but instantly flipped back with the rocket fuel from Sergeant, and he's looking to secure another.
Oh.
Gotta respect the Brock here. Sergeant has been hitting some beautiful taps on SSG, and they don't have anyone to match the range of that sharpshooter. And in the background,
please.
to build towards a magic hand should it be required. So Revenant next bar can play both offense and more defensively and fall back across the map a little further. Chino had that head first, but wants to keep response quiet as per usual. Sergeant actually lane swaps away from the Tick here, tries to make sure he gets to bully as much as possible. Bobby's low pinch is good on Sergeant. That's the magic hand though, and Jay's able to finish off.
It doesn't matter. We're in the lead.
Almost came through and he almost got the kill. But it is just one now. They still need to try and secure another. The box comes down with the expansion. Can't quite get down that side. Response flanking the right. Wants to get the shots in. There's the mute onto Sergeant as well. Beautiful rocket rain. Perfect from Sands, but eventually we'll be able to throw it down.
Yes, sir. Getting Sergeant was so important.
North American side and Southeast Asia still not able to get much done.
It's a really nice start for SSG.
Yes, sir.
There for Revenant X Spark is that Sergeant Clash is holding so many stars. He's the one that's getting most of these early picks, but it means that if he gets taken down, SSG almost get a 2-for-1 in terms of that star value. That's what puts them in the lead. And if they can simply trade patiently like that after taking that early blue star advantage, they'll be in good shape.
Well, the blue star back in SSG's hands once again, and Response.
But they're going to lose a lot of control.
Facing off against this Tick, needs to do slightly better to really get better value out of this Willow, because didn't see her do too much at all throughout the previous one. Bobby was putting a good performance in against the Sergeant at points, getting kills and flipping those stars around. But X9J down this right-hand side. Wants to work for this magic hand just that little bit.
It's impossible to deny value from that diagonal. He's going to be able to build up super. Gene does not do a lot of damage.
Yeah, nice Chino.
You are going to work your way towards that important magic hand. Here's a head first. In theory, to open up some control.
Oh, that was close.
Unfortunately for Sergeant, but it does allow SSG back into the map. Chino needs to keep a close eye on his health bar. That well-oiled star power is going to help him shrug off a lot of this poke damage, but Response is starting to play the aggressor on the left side.
Absolutely, he's having a much
Oh, they're playing way more aggressive. I don't like that.
Bobby and Sands in the back lines. Chino just trying to do what he can to keep Response back, but his ability to juke is just so much better in this game. He's feeling a little bit now, and Sands has this pocket down the right-hand side that's been opened up to navigate through, so he's not stuck.
Chino is getting these supers. He's developed yet another head first.
Yeah.
Has been able to keep Response.
I think he's close to hypercharge. But oh, of course. Of course. Of course.
We're going to have a slight technical issue here. We'll be back into the game in just a moment. We'll be under 30 seconds left in the round, so tune in. SSG lose the lead.
No.
Able to find the pick off on Sands, and now SSG have got to come
no. No.
Almost got him there, Jay.
Brother.
evades it and survives. Sans coming down the right, needs to aggress. Vengeful Spirit's thrown out, and Sergeant will rocket rain the right-hand side to stop that aggression. Tracks Revenant X
What's
and
that?
by getting the second game on the board.
We don't even see how it happened.
For SSG, they're used to playing the aggressor because they have the ability to obviously pick up that blue star and then fall back. They could rather be defensive for much of the round. But when they lose that advantage, they need to have a pretty solid plan for going forward and actually, punishing someone like Sergeant for overextending. He's a little low in max HP. That's somewhere you can find edges against this Brock. So again, yeah,
Just one hit, that's nice.
they need to be a little bit more proactive here in the mid game.
Yeah, Sans just go there. Be annoying.
Guaranteed every time it plays correctly. Response this time playing the right hand side, but Chino folds him over there as well. Fat splatter straight onto Sergeant.
Yeah, nice, Bobby.
Can't quite get it just yet. Revenant being pushed back little by little, takes a few hits to the face and forced back into sport.
SSG, I think, are trying to put Sans in a position to get these engagements and try and use some of that high offensive impact that Otis boasts. So Sans got moved into mid there for a moment, made to try and take on Sergeant. But Jay has been very, very hard to get purchased on. And Chino's just had to play this thrower mirror for most of the game so far. And at this distance, it's really easy to pick off that head first, and it's hard for Chino to actually convert it into map control. As Revenant X Mark just see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, Response just throws a couple of shots at it. Sergeant will occasionally poke one over as well, but it should burn down just thanks to Response. Sans, Fat Splatter on the left-hand side, just trying to delay this a little bit longer. Doesn't want to get pushed back too soon. They've only got the one star. Really nice
Sans just chip a bit. Oh. Oh, that's huge. That's huge. That's... What? What happened?
Sans getting frustrated, just not finding the matchups that he's looking for, and there just gets caught out as he saw a chance to go after Sergeant.
Oh yeah. Nice dodge from Bobby.
One star behind with 20 seconds left in the round. It's kind of now or never here for this bounty set. They've got to go.
Please,
Sans
please.
wants to step up. Jay playing safely. Doesn't have a magic hand to work with, but there's a rocket rain that SSG can't afford to walk into. Now they're going to go. Chino pops the hypercharge just for the raw stats and needs to find response, but he dives down. And Sans is too low to peek out.
No.
To be found here for SSG, and they simply let the game.
Bro.
That was very close to the end. He came out right in the middle of all of those tick mines after diving down and just narrowly survived, clinging on to the win, and they just managed to take this set home. They've got so much, though, to be able to counteract these late aggressive pushes. We've had rocket fuels, rocket rains from Sergeant to delay people from coming down their lanes. And obviously, regardless of Willow's 74 DPS and 0 kills, that ability to just be able to control someone and move them out the way towards the later periods of the game is really solid.
I don't think Meeple was the best first pick.
Yeah, I mean, for SSG, I think the Willow pick dissuades any form of hard engage, especially because they'd already mostly built their comp out of longer, mid to longer range brawlers. So if you have an individual like a Crow or just one of those dive brawlers, you're immediately shut down by the Willow. That forces SSG into a last pick Otis, who's great at mid-range and also pretty good at dealing with anyone who wants to run up on them, but outranged for most of the game by Sergeant. You saw what Sans had to do to try and find some kill potential there, and ended up exposing him to being picked off and giving Revenant X Spark the star lead in that last round.
I mean, the thing is how much work
Damn it.
I think it was Chino, right, on the tick had to do to be able to put SSG even in that game. The other two of them really couldn't engage much at all. I don't even know if I saw, a Bobby super in an influential moment with the Meeple. They're the kind of things that you need to get to switch the game in those later phases, and I just didn't see them coming around enough. It was just tick head after tick head. Great control from Chino, but the other two brawlers on the map were nowhere to be seen.
And don't get me wrong, I mean, Chino was trying to look for a favorable matchup, trying to look for a way to bully on the map, but Response was constantly matching him, just switching rather into the thrower matchup whenever possible. Then for Sans and Bobby, they don't really get favorable engagements either. They're trying to beat a Brock as Meeple or Otis in mid, especially with the map broken up. Brock is always going to be dominant in that kind of situation.
Solid star drop there as well. That's on the electric side. Nice little
very good
Otis. Oh, I love it. That's what I use, I think, as well. But obviously, more importantly, Revenant X Spark take the lead against SSG. This is a big game for both of these teams to stay alive in this competition. SSG took an unfortunate loss to Novo, but Revenant got absolutely wiped off the earth by SK Gaming to be coming to this point. So they have a lot to prove after coming through the last chance qualifier. SSG have a lot to prove considering they got that seeding buff and managed to get to Worlds because of it.
in Hot Zone, these two teams actually try and force pretty similar comps. They're always trying to fight for like Juju on those bushier maps. They also like to play more of that B, and we know just how powerful Pam is right now. We see a lot of her in Gem Grab, and in Dueling Beetles, she can set up a healing turret behind the indestructible wall just to give you a small slice of healing while standing on the point. So that's going to be pretty powerful. Expect her to be pretty hotly contested. Things taken away, obviously, kind of the go-to in a lot of these Hot Zone games. And there it is,
Juju. Yeah, that looks good.
Seen a lot of Gale kind of slotting in
I don't know what Gale's banned.
Juju, I like it. The hypercharge that she's been provided with is really, really solid. Buff to pretty much all stats of the Grigri. Pair that with the slow or the shield that comes along with it. Really.
Big 7.
Yeah, I was just going to ignore it. Of course, the very mature guy over here has to touch on it, doesn't he, and bang it out. So yeah, you should have seen it. Like he actually did the hand move.
It's like a hair trick, right? I can't resist. So Am's available. Also, Lumi, an option here to be brought in. Hank obviously very powerful on this map. Had to be banned out.
What about Lily?
Meeple taken away. So
A Sans Lily.
Twos here on a Hot Zone have already been met with bans. There's a ton of other options. We've seen Crow used fairly extensively on this map. You know, Mina was very quickly banned away. Don't expect to see too much of her on this map. If you want to throw a Ziggy's always an option for you, but yeah, here's the Pam we discussed earlier. I think just far too effective, and I'm surprised it actually goes so late in the game.
Yeah, Lumi.
Well, there's a few notable names in the crowd, Reyna and OJ as well. Obviously a huge thing for them to be here as well, supporting.
Give me a Lumi.
For sure, I'd imagine. So nice to see them in the crowd, but as you say, Pam really solid. The hypercharge recently introduced has kind of catapulted her back into the meta. Not incredible, like it's not like one of the best brawlers.
Lumi and
in contention on a few maps now, and
some good anti-tank.
Okay, Lou here, bit of a classic.
Maybe Lumi.
Hot Zoners that it really lines up quite well, of course, with that area. Yeah, let's get some showdown games in. This is probably the only time we're going to get to see Mina this weekend, everybody. So soak it up.
Unfortunately, with the Lou, solid pick as well. A lot of kind of mid coverage there as well with the ice rink on it.
Carl fans. Might be
present.
That's a decent option. I think Heat Ejector's amazing just to zone on this map and to force teams to stay inside their bushes.
To be honest, Carlson's good as well.
When it comes to that hypercharge super, you have pretty good all-in potential. Otis instead going to be the option for SSG. Sands couldn't really find a niche to succeed in. Has to go up against the Brock again. So I think it's pretty clear where Revenant X Sparks bread is buttered.
Absolutely, and two very solid compositions here for Hot Zone in general. Dueling Beetles, I really do like the Juju pick, but with Response bringing in this Brock, how much of that grass that kind of usually looms in the mid is going to remain? Probably not a lot of it, and probably not a lot of walls either. So the Juju, unless she's able to cycle.
Is that Vegeta? I think so.
A bit of a tough time, I think. Yeah.
Whereas SSG do not really have any wall break potential. This is very good for the Pam, for example, who can set that turret up pretty safely. So another strong draft here for Revenant X Spark. Can SSG style on them? Can they show some level of skill expression here with some of these, high ceiling brawlers in the Juju and the Otis? Bobby, of course,
oh damn!
Gets a moment of invisibility.
They really read some like that.
Sergeant is pretty unbothered.
Yeah, it was really nice awareness from X9J there as well to be able to just throw that Pam shot into the middle, expecting that invisibility to be there, and it just pushed Bobby all the way back straight away. They've got great control if that wasn't
Come on.
Taking hit after hit here. Bobby with the invisibility again.
Nice.
And this time it worked.
Bro just unloaded every one of those shots, and it's just as well because they've been able to clear Revenant X Spark off the point now, and with Grigri in play, Sergeant does have to respect the Voodoo Dolls to a degree. But SSG have been able to get themselves back in the lead, and Sands is looking for an opportunity to charge that super. But Response can, well, disrespect some of these shots to a degree and try and pinch onto Bobby, who is going to be dug out and has no bushes to work with. Like you alluded to earlier, Trav, there's no way for Juju to get that range increase and be relevant on the point at the same time.
And even less,
no, the Juju is useless.
As Sergeant throws out that hypercharged rocket rain on top of it. And Sands taking some hits to the face from the Brock as well, not having a fun time. Percentage-wise, it's still pretty close. But you've got to question how long SSG are going to be able to hold on unless Chino and Sands start down those lanes.
You see that Juju gadget's quite effective for Bobby when there were bushes that allowed him to have that window of invisibility to actually try and assassinate. Now it gives him some shield, some extra durability.
But whichever way you slice it, it's really hard for Juju to find any success on this map. The wall break for Sergeant was such a great call. They've got the Amber as well. So deforestation definitely top of the list of priorities here for Revenant X Spark, and Bobby is just going to get nothing to do trying to come forward there. I hate to say it, but Revenant X Spark kind of roll SSG in the draft.
I mean, like, the PAM turret was there since it got put down, since she put another
That's
one
just
down. It's just
sad.
there's nothing they can do to deal with it. Bobby couldn't get through the mid, no grass. The lanes were losing as well. And SSG is slipping away from them so fast. Really disappointing draft from them. And I'm sure Revenant X Spark could just laugh it.
It's like, no kill pressure, no wall break, no maidens for SSG. Like, it is a struggle city out there for them. And the fact that that PAM turret gets to get put on the forward side of the wall and still not destroyed is a little bit concerning. So, SSG again need to assert themselves. It's a fat splatter to zone Sergeant away in the mid early.
Well, a lane swap is probably what was needed, I think, after that last one. What can go more wrong? Not a lot, I don't think. So why not try something a little bit different? Sergeant there, just shooting down in this mid onto Bobby. Going to be breaking that grass up once more, and another rocket rain will surely be following soon on that last remaining wall.
These gadgets from Chino, pretty clutch. Oh dear, Sergeant definitely has to respect the Otis, but eventually can step up and start that capture. It's tricky. I think you really need to be cycling these supers as the Lu and find an impactful or hypercharge that catches 1 to 2 players. Until such time, it feels like you take a little bit of a back seat in some of these rounds. Sands is trying to connect these shots, but obviously they don't do a ton of damage. It's really all about trying to, you know, get these freezes on people like Sergeant. This is nice from Sands. I do like that he's asserting himself here.
Bro, Sands playing a 2v1.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's had more supers
He's holding
than
it.
he had in the entirety of the previous one. So swap definitely working for SSG as they take the percentage lead as well. But now Revenant starting to push back. Turret being placed down should be out of reach from the majority of those SSG players unless Fat Splatter gets placed onto it. And Sergeant Rocket Rain onto that right hand side. Bobby coming back through mid. Grigri available, but going to take so many shots to bring this PAM turret down.
No, look, I think this really favours SSG having the map broken up to such a degree. Bobby's been really impactful, even though we can't operate at maximum range, as Juju would like to. Now, though, you start to see them having to take a bit of a back seat. Bobby ducks into the bushes to get an invisibility buff, and we'll have access to that because there's a little bit of bush cover left. Response gets knocked out. Chino's able to hit the mute button.
Yeah.
Now is missing some crucial shots, allowing for Chino to pick off the PAM and get out scot-free.
Just break the turret already, please.
So far, hypercharge come down, can't find the connection onto Bobby, but will push him all the way back up into that top bush and give them a chance at keeping this now. They know he's invisible because those bushes just got broken by the super of Sergeant, and a rocket fuel to the right-hand side from the Brock keeps them in the lead with only 50 seconds on the clock to push onto the zone.
Sergeant pops the hyper here, raw stat boost, of course, aiding him. It's the 20% speed increase he's probably looking for now. That splatter's going to clear out the turret, but X9J has a hyper charge, throws it down. The shield goes a long way, but Revenant X Spark need to get themselves onto the hot zone as Bobby take it out. Chino with a super. Jay just soaks it up and says, please, sir, may I have another? Revenant X Spark are comfortable here on the hot zone. Chino's going to pop the hypercharge, but he ain't fooling anybody. Sergeant's happy to fight him. Fat Splatter forces him back into the hypercharge healing turret, but Revenant X Spark are now at 88% and counting. Response can duck back onto the
Damn
in Chino's direction, and SSG falls short in a second consecutive set.
I've got to point out, I'm feeling for Chino, man. He's doing so much. He's doing a lot of work for SSG in both the first set and this one, and it seems like he's got no support. And, you know, I'm not saying that's the players directly, but the draft, the brawlers that he's playing must be incredible, and he's playing well on top of that as well. I do feel for him because he's doing a lot of work against Revenant here and not getting much return.
I really think the Fat
Please, reverse sweep.
Gadget helped Chino a lot in the early round to get that space. That's what allows Sands to play forward and maybe find some more of these connections. But Sands is playing the Lu very safely, arbitrarily throwing super down on the point, just saying, no, we're going to make sure we have this slim lead. We can stay ahead by 5 to 7%, keep that going. The problem with that game plan is if the dam ever breaks, if you ever lose full map control, Revenant X Spark get to push right on up, abuse that amber, take all
crazy.
And turn your Juju into a Walmart thrower.
I mean, it's really rough for SSG now. Looks like heads are kind of dropping over that side of the stage as well, and Revenant standing tall, 2 sets to 0. SSG requiring a full reverse movement. Going off what they've been doing today, it's just not looking likely in my eyes. Obviously, these guys have got a lot to prove. You know, the fact that they even deserve to be here, considering they should have gone to